and 44. That's 2 left lanes that are out. And Hartford Road work northbound 91 between 33 and 42 with the left lane closed. And along the shoreline, 95 south down in Old Saybrook between 66 and 63. Right lane is closed for repair work there. Meteorologist Jason Caterina has the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
For the rest of today, the clouds continue giving way to some sun. It'll be breezy and mild, the high of 72. The north-northwest winds at 8 to 16 miles an hour will subside some overnight. It'll be clear and colder tonight, the low down to 39. Now a cooler day for us on Friday, but pleasant to round out the week. Sunny skies, just a light breeze out of the west, the high of 65. Now Saturday, it'll be partly sunny and windy again. Can't rule out a shower. The high of 63 will certainly feel like the 50s throughout the day, with that west-northwest wind cranking along at 15 to 25 miles an hour sustained. Then Sunday, it'll be cooler again, but less windy, still a little breezy, mostly sunny, the high of 57 Sunday. Monday, plenty of sun, cooler, the high of 54. Then a mix of clouds and sun for Tuesday, a touch milder, the high moving up to 61 on Tuesday.
What up?
I'm meteorologist Jason
I was
Caterina
getting
in
scared.
the WTIC
I
Weather
was
Center.
scared.
Dow down
I was warming up my lunchage.
Street today. The Nasdaq's up 103, and the S&P is up 4 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It's 3:06. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-1305. That's 800-291-1305. 800-291-1305.
1 minute.
To keep living with joint pain, you can get real, lasting relief with QC Kinetics. People are getting their lives back, getting their mobility back, all thanks to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in cellular therapies that can revitalize your joints. We're talking about advanced regenerative medicine using your own body's healing properties, highly concentrated and carefully placed in those achy joints. Back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, cutting-edge treatments that have no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime with QC Kinetics. And it's quick in-office procedure, get you moving again. Listen, is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? You owe it to yourself to learn a little more. Make an informed decision before you do something like surgery. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. They're in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. Again, QC Kinetics, Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. That number, 860-440-PAIN.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
She doesn't have to be flawless, but she has to give you something. I mean, she's like a true double threat. You know, she's terrible on her feet when she gets unexpected questions, and simultaneously, she can't even answer the expected questions. It's nothing, nothing, nothing. You'd think she'd be prepared to do this by now. You know, what's a mistake you've made? Nothing. What's a weakness you have? Nothing. What's the first law you want to pass? Nothing. What's a policy difference between you and Joe Biden? Nothing. Over and over and over. Empty, empty, empty. If she were an animal, she'd be a duck-billed platitude.
Yeah! A duck-billed platitude. Damn. Scott Jennings coming in with the jugular shot. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC on this. what is that? No, is that October the 24th, 2024? Goodness gracious, we are just rumbling through the days, rumbling through the year. It's getting exciting. It's getting down to the wire. I know you're exhausted. Some of you are saying to yourselves, oh, Reese, can it be over? No, I tell you. Do you understand? This is the lead up to the Super Bowl, right? This is it. It's for the whole enchilada. It's for everything. You got to be excited. You're bated breath, waiting for some October surprise. Another story. We got one woman who can't get her years straight. She doesn't know if she was on the Upper West Side or Upper East Side, whether or not it was 1993 or 1996. I love it. All these people are losing it. They're pulling out their hairs. They're pulling out all the stops. They are desperate. It's amazing. I love it. And while all of this is happening, folks, while all of it is happening, you have got a candidate who cannot stop stepping on their own feet. They're like some sort of, my mother used to call it pigeon-toed. I never understood that when I was a kid. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to explain it to me. 860-522-WTIC. Is it pigeon-toed when both feet go in or when they both go out? I don't know. I've never known this. If my mother used to call me, she'd say, oh, he pigeon-toed. Or they used to say, she's bow-legged. Never understood any of those terms. But whatever it is that Kamala Harris is doing, she's stepping on her feet as she walks. She is like a 4-year-old that you tell, oh, baby, you got to tie your shoe. You're going to trip. You're going to trip. And then she looks back at you and she goes, I can walk. I can do it. And she just keeps walking and she keeps stepping on her own shoelace. Or Wile E. Coyote when she keeps walking into the rakes. Or the Acme rocket keeps blowing up on her. All of it. You know, was it Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons who keeps walking into the rakes, keeps hitting himself in the face? That's what this candidate is doing. And Liberals, Democrats, leftists, I got to ask you a question. Isn't this getting difficult? Remember when you thought each of us on the right, MAGA folks, Trump supporters, or just Republicans, remember when you used to hound us about whether or not it was uncomfortable or difficult to carry the weight of Donald Trump with the things that he would say? It's like, come on, he's got to really make you uncomfortable, doesn't he? When he says stuff like this, don't you kind of recoil? And we would look at you and we go, no, I love this guy. And you never believed us. You were like, nah, you can't really be comfortable with the stuff that he says, right? You don't say to yourself, gosh, I wish he would stop. Some people would. Some people who worked at this very network used to say, sometimes he just does stuff. And I said, okay. And I would try to pull him back off the cliff. Hey, listen, understand why he's doing what he's doing. Relax. That's Trump being Trump. It works. You'll learn. Give him a minute. And everything that Trump said was either cringy or weird then turned out to be true. Not all the time, but most of the time. But they would get on us. They would say, aren't you feeling a little... No, never. Or at least I didn't. Why does he tweet so much? There's a reason behind that. You can't rely on the media to send his message out there, not without skewing it in some way. He needs to talk directly to his constituents, to the people who support him, even those who don't. You have to have the words come right out of your mouth. Let everybody else interpret it the way they wish to, but it's got to come straight from you. That's why he used Twitter. Remember, Barack Obama used to be the Twitter candidate, and Donald Trump took that and put it on steroids. He was like Chernobyl to Twitter. Nuclear. It was insane. But you got to ask yourself, don't you feel a little uncomfortable about supporting Kamala Harris? Aren't you cringing every time she's on television? Remember when I said, like, if I was watching Showtime at the Apollo or American Idol and someone would sing poorly and I had to turn the channel, I was like, no, got to turn it. Because it was cringy. It was like, Well, that's what you have to defend now. Now, I want to make an observation here. This is a clip that has gone viral everywhere. It's CNN reporter Dana Bash. You remember her from the debate that destroyed Joe Biden's reelection campaign. And Dana Bash is talking about people who were contacting her in the Democrat Party about Kamala Harris's town hall last night. I need you to listen to this. Now, for those of you who know Reese on the radio, you're going to pick it up immediately. For those of you who are unfamiliar, you'll say, maybe I'm missing something. Don't worry, I will help you. You are going to learn to sort of spot these things like I do. You'll get in the weeds. Listen closely. Dana Bash, CNN, last night.
Well, I'll just tell you what I'm hearing from people who I have been talking to, and that is that if her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that. And, you know, some people have asked, is she being held to a different standard? Maybe, but that's maybe the world that she's living in. And on the question of who she is, people are understanding that a little bit more. But what she will do, the question about her legislative priorities, name one, there wasn't one. You know, some more of her personality and her sort of character questions about your weaknesses or what mistakes did you make? Not necessarily the answers there.
Dana Bash says that she's getting messages from people. Well, come on, let's take a run at it. What do you think, or whom do you think Dana Bash is talking about? Come on, we all know who it is. Democrats, not rank-and-file Democrat voters. These are politicians that are contacting Dana Bash. And if they're not contacting Dana Bash is contacting them to find out what their reaction is. She'll keep you secret. Don't worry, I'll never expose who you are or what you said. I will never give details. Just tell me what you think about what you're seeing. And they respond. Dana's a part of that swamp. Okay? Dana Bash's husband is one of the 52 or 51 intelligence people who said that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. She's in the swamp. So the people she's talking about who are contacting her because they feel comfortable to do so, they are not satisfied with Kamala Harris's performance last night, or pretty much any time. They are sick of carrying her water. She has done more damage to herself. They are the ones carrying all the weight. They are the ones that are making all of the policy statements for her, making her sound good, look good. And then Kamala gets out there and she just goes, hey, excuse me while I drop this grenade on my entire campaign. Boom. They are saying this because they're done. So, and folks, do you think that these are Democrats no one's ever heard of? Hell no. These are prominent Democrats. You think Dana Bash wastes her time contacting some politician from some podunk town that no one's ever heard of, speaking to a politician that no one will recognize? You damn well better believe Dana Bash, who co-hosts State of the Union on Sunday on CNN, has the personal telephone numbers of some of the most high-ranking officials in the Democrat Party. And when she says that they are saying they're not convinced by Kamala Harris, they are letting you know that the air is out of this campaign. That's what she is talking about.
Well, I'll just tell you what I'm hearing from people who I have been talking to, and that is that if her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that.
These are the ones, like who would Dana Bash be talking about? They're irrelevant. If they're irrelevant, she put that out in the ether because they want people to know. She's not selling herself. She's not doing anything that's helpful to her. And Democrats, you got to answer yourselves, man. don't you cringe a little bit? What happened to all the joy? What happened to all of the excitement and the happiness of that campaign? Hold on, let me refresh your memory of what that sounds like.
It's the happy, happy, joy, joy song.
And let us be very clear. Someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States.
I don't think you're happy enough.
I don't. I don't think you're happy enough. 860-522-WTIC. Let's take Matt in Bristol. What's up, buddy? Matt, are you there? He was probably enjoying the happy, happy, joy, joy song. Some people get really motivated by that song. Okay, well, we'll wait for him to figure it out. Maybe he's got something going on with his phone. You don't have an Obama phone or anything, do you? Anyway, let's go to the comments. Lori says October surprises are just recycling of seasonal lies. That's exactly what it's been so far. Okay, and Lori and Mike have cleared. White Mike have cleared it up. So pigeon-toed are when your toes go in. Okay, mind sweeping is toes out. That's what that means. Okay, what's up, Craig? How are you? Lori also says that Obama and Axelrod are probably the people that Dana Bash has been talking to. I believe it. I believe it. Axelrod called her word salad city. I heard that as well. They're all hanging their hat on her closing arguments at the same spot Donald Trump did on the January 6th speech. That's right. I know she's going to do that. She's going to be at the Ellipse. I don't think that's, look, what was it that I said? What did your host say to you a couple of weeks ago? One, where are the Obamas? They're coming in at the 11th hour. Why? They should have been there earlier. Why not? Because, again, they don't want to be associated with this. They wanted to be shown, like, at the last minute. And they're saying nothing, by the way. They're doing anything and everything to talk about Donald Trump. And Michelle Obama's going to do the same thing. She's going to get out there and talk about how Donald Trump depressed her. Remember that? Donald Trump has made her depressed. He makes her feel so depressed. Sometimes I just have to close in on myself and just think about how horrible Donald Trump is. Yeah. Fly to Ibiza again, or Liberia, wherever the heck you go. Is it Ibiza? Yeah, there you go. Fly back to Spain. Fly back to Hawaii. You got a $15 million home in Martha's Vineyard. Depress my butt. Get up out of here. And now Beyonce, I hear, is coming in. Oh, Beyonce, thank you. Thank you. Nothing says failing campaign than bringing in Beyonce to dance and shake her rump for the American people. Was Megan the Stallion not enough? Was Megan the Stallion twerking on stage not enough? Have you not pandered to African Americans enough? Beyonce's got to come out and save you. Even Barack Obama didn't drag out Beyonce to perform. Yeah, I think that, what was it? Michelle Obama says that this is the second time that she has been proud of her country. She won't be proud after Election Day. I'll tell you that. Did we get Matt back? Let's try Matt again. Matt, you there?
No, on the phones here.
Okay. Oh, is he not on the phones?
No, we got Jim in Wellington now.
Okay, let's take Jim in Wellington. How you doing, Jim?
How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Had a problem getting in. Hey, listen, election aside, I've been just thinking back to every single thing that happened to Donald Trump since he ran and then won the 2016 election.
Yeah.
If you remember when what they were saying about him beforehand. They loved him forever until he became serious.
Correct.
Then he wins and there wasn't a Bank of America or a Starbucks plate glass window in the country that was safe because everybody's running around smashing windows and burning limos.
Sure
if you remember that.
Sure enough.
And you had to save places. You had women screaming. You had to get dogs to calm people down.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go through his presidency.
Mm-hmm.
And let's forget the Democrats because the Republicans did nothing for him. For
No, they
basically
did
2 years.
not.
Okay, they did nothing for him, and then then he gets out. Make a long story, we don't have to go through the Biden thing,
Right.
And then you find out what happened to Trump during Biden's administration, go up to and through today.
Right.
I don't think there's an American anywhere in this country that has had to put up with their government going after them in the way that they did. Not just Trump, but anybody that was vocal about supporting him.
Let me ask you, Jim. Jim, with
Yeah,
all
sure.
of that, let me ask you this. In your own humble opinion, and everybody's got like a particular response to this, why do you think with all of that, and I'll say one of the things that you said that really sort of resonates with me was the way in which the Republicans would not stand up with him, did not fight back with him. Some of them went behind his back and sided with Democrats during his first term, right? They really, they stabbed him in the back. Why you? Yeah. The best you can guess. Why do you think he still why come back after everything he endured? Why come back and do it again? Why do you think he did it?
Well, I'll repeat the phrase I repeated a couple of times on your show, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
He is a bombastic, self-centered in a way, egotistical type of guy. But
all right.
But who isn't at a level at his level, right?
Sure.
And then you add new politician, and then you add the fact that he believes that he's right and he can do what's right for this country, and he's proved it.
Yeah.
He's proved it. Now, if you want to say he's stroking his ego this time around, hey, I don't disagree with that. I said, and I've said many times, hey, listen, I don't care about the guy's personal life. I was told by the Democrats to ignore the personal lives of Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and I was told to ignor that. That's no way to vote for somebody, and I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
if Bill Clinton ran based on his record, I would have voted for him because he had an excellent record leaving office.
He did. I mean, listen, for a guy who was very left and then became a centrist, almost center right. Was into almost anti-illegal immigration. A guy who was, very, very, from the bottom up. What do you call it? Went very, very capitalist, very pro-growth.
Yes, sir.
That guy, you're right. If Bill Clinton would have had to come back, like if he had only had one term and had come back, his record would have saved him. His record would have saved him, and he definitely would be in office today.
Yes, sir. And I'll end it with this. The biggest problem with Trump is that he's right, and he presents himself using the same vernacular, the same positioning, that same quasi-arrogance that the left does.
Right.
It drives them crazy.
It's 100%
He's right, and he's got a record that can prove it.
Yep.
Thanks for the time.
My pleasure, Jim. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and, of course, your phone calls on Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth.
You're clear.
Thank you, sir.
Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30.
You're right, Lori. That's who it was.
WTIC,
Dick
News
Morris.
Talk 1080.
I got to meet him
I'm
once.
Deb. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
On the O'Reilly factor of
With
all
my
places.
Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel. Okay, but I said it first. It's more than food. It's my Big Y Rewards.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4600. 4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000.
By the way, Jay Timothy's is very interested in hosting us.
4000.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The firefighting operation continues along Lamentation Mountain in Berlin today. Crews being aided by 3 helicopters, 2 from the Connecticut National Guard and another from Maine. They had an update about a half an hour ago. The fire is now estimated at 107 acres, 40 to 50 crew members on the ground, in addition to those piloting the choppers, obviously. The state is requesting a FEMA grant. Running those choppers costs about $100,000 a day. The Berlin fire chief says they hope to have a good hold on the fire by the end of the weekend. Meantime, funeral arrangements for the Wethersfield firefighter who was killed while helping to extinguish that blaze are set. Robert Charkovich Sr.'s wake is Sunday from 2 to 7 at Farley Sullivan Funeral Home. His funeral is set for Monday at the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford. Charkovich died when the UTV he was riding in crashed. 3 other firefighters were injured. The woman was critically injured in a hit and run in Meriden Wednesday night. Female pedestrian, that is, struck at Broad and Charles Street in the city. Police say witnesses told them the suspect vehicle stopped briefly before taking off. Police say they're culling through surveillance video in an attempt to aid in their investigation. Former President Trump says if he wins the White House, he'll fire Special Counsel Jack Smith within 2 seconds of taking office. Smith has charged Trump over his efforts to overturn the 2020 election and mishandling of classified documents. State police are charging a woman who falsely reported an incident. They say Deborah Ann Kalotis fabricated her own harassment from a cyber attack. They say Kalotis and a family member were behind the ruse. She's free on $75,000 bond due in court next month. WTIC News Time 3:32. Now the forecast.
For the rest of today, clouds giving way to sun. It'll be breezy, the high of 72. Clear and colder tonight, the low down to 39. Sunny, cooler day for us on Friday, but pleasant to round out the week with a high of 65. On Saturday, partly sunny, windy. Can't rule out a shower. That high of 63 will feel like the 50s throughout the day with that busy west-northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, partly sunny, 69 the temperature right now in Hartford. Half hour before the close, Dow's down 129, Nasdaq's up 155. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on...
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking great sex, with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. In Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases, and we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How many times did your old rickety heating system not fire up last year? Say, come on into Campbell. Campbell Heating and Cooling is Central Connecticut's leader when it comes to competitive pricing on a new boiler, heat pump, or furnace. Don't despair when your old clunking furnace just can't be repaired. Replace with an affordable, custom-designed heating system from Campbell. Contact Campbell today at campbellcooling.com. That's campbellcooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard and Mitsubishi heating and cooling equipment. Let our expert technicians heat your home this fall.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms, elementary
45 seconds.
and summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here we go.
.com/free.
We know you're on Facebook, so we might as well be Facebook friends. Connect with WTIC News Talk 1080.
Come on back. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC, 860-522-WTIC. Let's get back to the phones. Mike is in Newington. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, how you doing, Reese?
What you got for me?
Yeah, I figured there had to be some sort of a reason for a former Marine Corps general to lie, if that's what he actually did. I'm talking about John Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up as far as what he's doing now. I figure maybe he was involved in the military-industrial complex.
Right.
No, it's energy. He's CEO of a corporation called Avista, Avista.
Okay.
And it seems like they were getting money hand over fist from the Biden administration because they generate electricity as well as they distribute natural gas. So it seems to me that a Harris administration would be very favorable to a John Kelly.
Oh.
So
again, was it not me that said yesterday that, of course, this was transactional? And I think one of the most telling things about Kelly's statements in that interview and on the tape, because CNN treated it like they had discovered gold. What was so interesting about that is the vagueness of Kelly's statement about Trump, right? So it's the way that he describes it, it's almost like he poorly remembered him talking about how he admired Nazi generals, or Hitler's general. It made really no concrete sense. It sounds like he was making it up as he went along and was trying to substantiate his own quotes, if that makes any sense.
I don't think he wanted to be saddled with telling an outright lie. So,
right.
Like you say, the vagueness. This was a white lie, which is okay. We all know white lies are okay. So, Okay, Reese, that's all I got.
You got it, sir. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Let's go to another Mike. White Mike's in Florida. How you, sir?
Hey, man. So let me get this straight. The Harris campaign is dragging out people who have been sued for giving other people herpes.
Yeah, that's right.
Lizzo, who has been accused of both body shaming and sexual harassment.
That is correct.
And let's see, Eminem, who made his fortune preaching violent misogyny
against his baby mama,
and said horrible things about his mother.
That's right.
And now, let's see, they're talking about bringing out Beyonce, married to Jay-Z, who is rumored to be a Diddy-level sex trafficker, who also hung out with the spirit cooking chick.
Who's the, wait a minute, the spirit cooking? Who's the spirit cooking?
You know, you see this weird artist who did a thing called spirit cooking. Just look it up. Her name, Marina Abramovich.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know who she is. Okay, I never heard the term spirit cooking. That's new to me.
So Jay-Z is full-on Illuminati. He gives the Illuminati symbol in all of his videos.
That's right.
So what are they doing? Do they not think that people know who these people are? I mean, everybody knows the history of Usher and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you this. Here's the deal. They are dealing with a group of people, right? They're voters in this case, who are mind-numbingly silly, vapid, and superficial. All they see is, oh my God, that's somebody who sings on my radio. That's a person who's in movies. These people are empty who support people like Kamala Harris. Because again, even when you ask them, and Mike, you've seen these videos. I know you are just as involved in social media as I am, Twitter in particular. You will watch these guys, young kids, asking Kamala Harris supporters, do you like Kamala Harris? Yes. Tell me a policy that you're voting for. And you will watch them go and for 5 minutes. So you get the people that she's like I said on this show a couple of weeks ago. We cannot ignore that we have stupid people in this country. We've been too kind to the stupid because we call them everything else. Uninformed, low information. These people are just stupid.
Well, our society is so easy that stupid people can live a very long time.
Right. Do you remember?
Nothing takes...
Oh, you reminded me of George Carlin when he talked about every other species kills their stupid.
We've got seatbelt laws and crosswalks and food is safe, good health care. And on another topic, again, I don't understand this John Kelly stupidity. Every president should want generals like the German army had in World War II. They kind of kicked most of Europe's butt without much of a struggle.
And you know what?
They had really good generals.
That's another point. What's this weird thing on the left about the word loyalty? When did that become a pejorative?
Well, because they have no loyalty. The only loyalty they have is to their religion, which is communism.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything to further the goal. So it's just stupid. I watched her town hall last night, parts of it. This woman is, in my opinion, WTIC, snorting the booger sugar. That woman was gacked out of her mind. You see how many times she touched her nose? Go back and watch it.
I know. You know what? And I saw this video last night that I think was a dupe, but there was somebody who was saying that, the cocaine found in the White House was actually delivered to Kamala Harris. There's some video that's out there that talks about this. And again, I'm looking at the video and I'm saying to myself, I don't know if this is real or not, but the fact that someone's actually got that out there and there's no community notes on it, it just has somebody in undercover video talking about how the people immediately went to Hunter because Hunter's the usual suspect. But this video suggests that they're looking in the wrong direction and they're trying to implicate Kamala Harris on this. In my head, I'm going, I know that she likes wine, but this one's new.
I've been in enough rooms with enough cokeheads over the years to know what a cokehead is like. And that chick's a cokehead. Next thing, she was going to start talking to her friends about some cool business plan she had.
Yeah, exactly. Good one. Thanks, Mike. Do I have what? Oh, I got to look at the clock. I'm usually when I get into these conversations.
We'll take a break first.
We'll take a break now?
Yeah, get it out of the way.
Yeah, why not? We'll get it out of the way, and then we'll come back to the rest of the phone calls. We got more stuff and plenty of audio sound bites from yesterday's town hall with Kamala Harris. You don't want to miss it if you haven't heard it, because we're going to, there's some good ones in here. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views, your phone calls. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Take a moment and think of one thing you really wanted to do recently.
Yeah, fair. Just get the break out of the way.
Yeah.
Foot, leg, or back pain got in the way. Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet store. Well, you're not alone. We hear it all the time. Folks are fed up with living with pain that's keeping them from doing what they love, and they look to us at the Good Feet store for a solution. And that's why we're here, to help get you back out there. Good Feet arch supports, which you can only get at the Good Feet store, are designed to alleviate and even eliminate foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Plus, they provide improved balance, more comfort, and, well, just a better life. We'd like to help you turn your pain into possibilities with a free fitting at the Good Feet store. You'll be personally fit by an arch support specialist, and you'll get to walk around and see how Good Feet arch supports feel. Then you can decide if they're right for you. For over 30 years, the Good Feet store has been helping people get back to doing the things they love without their feet getting in the way. Stop in today at the Good Feet store in Avon, across from Whole Foods, or visit goodfeet.com.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 customers would recommend AAA insurance to a friend? 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 people don't even like Philly cheesesteaks. More loved than the most loved sandwich in the city of brotherly love?
I saw that too, Mike B.
Siblings?
The pizza
Well,
boxes.
we do treat our
That
customers
was
like
good.
family.
We'll talk about that in a little
Legendary
bit.
service and superior coverage from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 people would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote. Based on a 2023 customer survey. Insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange. Did you know that 9 out of 10 customers...
Like 2 minutes-ish.
All right, you got it.
Friend? That's higher than the percentage of people that love sunsets. Yeah, the thing's so majestic that the last time you saw...
On a very ballparky kind of day. It's like 2 minutes.
Online. Don't worry, it's not about likes. It's about
I stepped
heart.
away. What'd you say?
Legendary service and superior...
I'm in a very ballparky kind of day. It's like 2 minutes-ish.
Recommend. Find out why and get a quote at AAA.com/insurance. Based on a 2023 customer survey. Insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
Don Cussin here. Fall is a great time to get behind the wheel and head out for some seasonal driving. With leaves on the road and rain or snow falling, driving can be hazardous. Is your car ready? Cussin Auto features Cooper and Continental tires, helping to ensure a comfortable and safe driving experience, no matter the season. Let Cussin Auto handle your next oil change, knowing our team will inspect your vehicle for all your service needs. After all, we'll do it right or not at all. Call 860-289-2389 or visit CussinAutomotive.com.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring
1 minute.
The iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3871 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871.
Reese on the Radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Back to the phones we go, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Let's go to Kim. Kim. Yeah, we got Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hello. Hi, Reese. Thanks for letting me on.
My pleasure.
I tried to get this out earlier. Two things, actually.
Okay.
So I was trying to tell them I own an investment property. I've owned it for years. some people moved in next door, did a great job in renovating it when others couldn't.
Okay.
So they hear my talk radio, because when I'm out in the garden, they hear my talk radio, and it's saying, the illegals are not allowed to vote. They're not going to vote. And I hear the chanting, "Si puede," meaning yes, we can, right?
Uh-huh.
So I did not know they were illegal up until the point that Telemundo showed up to film. There's two people. One's a reporter, one's the camera person. I go over, try to ask them what's going on. Has there been an accident, murder, whatever?
Yeah.
They don't want to tell me. But the reporter person doesn't know that they shouldn't tell this person what's going on. But apparently they were showing up to interview these people because how happy they should be that Connecticut is voted in the legislation or proposed in the legislation in Connecticut that the citizens of Connecticut will now pay for the illegals' medical costs.
Wow.
So one, it told me, I didn't even know that was going on in the assembly. Two, it told me that how come the media happens to know who's illegal or not illegal when we can't find out?
So, yeah, that's interesting. The media knew exactly whose house to go to, right?
Yeah. Well, let's be happy now. Let's have you on. How do you feel about that? The usual question.
Oh, that's it. You know what? Let me tell you, Kim. Let me tell you something. Talk about that. I love that. What's that term that Peter and Family Guy used to do on the news? You know what bakes my scrod? That's the fact that the news media thought it proper to go to the illegal who's getting all the perks and ask them how they feel about getting all the perks.
Rather than ask the people who have been here for decades, invested in Connecticut for decades, and now have the additional costs, not only of themselves to medical costs, but they have to deal with people who came here illegally. But last point, there's a billboard. After I know they're illegal and they're saying "Si puede," they now are putting political banners out in their front lawn.
Wow.
That said, "Vote yes" in Connecticut for absentee voting, and there's big billboards out for that. So there's big money behind this. But I started to look into it and the things you don't know. But it turns out they want you to vote yes, so that your Connecticut Constitution changes that anyone from anywhere, maybe not even in this country, it's a no excuse voting for any excuse. And who gets the power to say they can do it? The Assembly can allow anyone, anywhere to vote in Connecticut.
And again, you know what? And of course, you know what happens if they get that passed. Listen, I hope some fair-minded or at least right-minded people on the left do better than allow just anybody to be able to vote in the elections. But you know what? What are you going to do? All right, Kim, thank you. I appreciate you giving me a heads up on that. Huh?
One last thing.
Yes.
You had that theory you were saying, by the way, the General Kelly and McMaster were both globalist generals there to control Trump and keep him away from people like Steve Bannon, who knew what they knew about the globalists. But you had a good theory, and I had to applaud your theory because I believed it for a while. That they don't want Kamala Harris to win, but unfortunately, they've committed such evil crimes, all of these globalists, that they cannot afford to get Trump in. For example, General Milley.
Yep.
Would be court-martialed right away.
Exactly. And I think, it's so funny because there was a thing about Donald Trump talking about now he's starting to talk about who in essence he's going to get rid of. He's already made it known Jack Smith is out of there the minute he's inaugurated. Thank you, Kim. Yep. Now let's go to my good friend Matt in Bristol. How are you, sir?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
What's going on, buddy?
You know what really grinds my gears?
That's it. Grind my gears. Everybody's in the chat room. I thought it was bakes my scrod, but I'm wrong about that.
I don't know where you got that one from. So, yeah, I'm going to make you uncomfortable on this call. So we were talking about Trump being arrogant.
Right.
And there's a difference in being arrogant and being sure of yourself.
Okay.
Which brings me full circle back to you. I finally got a chance to listen to your last Reese on the radio.
Okay.
And how you came to a realization that you should not be upset or worried about your success.
Right.
And, do you think I call you Mr. Hopkins, not Reese? I mean, you have to understand, I love having you in Connecticut, but your voice is something that I really believe should be heard nationwide. And I'm not just blowing smoke up Toshi. I really do believe that.
You know what? And I listen, I do appreciate that. And look, this is going to sound horrible. Let me put it to you this way. Of course, I would love to be able to talk to anyone and everyone everywhere, right? To at least in the sense of not because, wow, I wish everybody knew me. I'm beyond that. I remember when I was a kid, I wished that I was like the most popular person in my class. I'm beyond that. But I do, as when you guys tell me the things that you tell me, and I get these messages on Facebook and Instagram and all these other messages, when people said those things to me, I was just like, you know what? It doesn't make me feel good about myself. It just lets me know that I'm doing God's work. I'm doing the right thing. I'm making people think. I'm getting them involved. They're having conversations. They're going outside of their sphere. And not only that, they're engaging. And I love that. And even the people who disagree with me, I'm getting relationships with people who disagree with me, and they're expanding. Not just their minds, but mine as well. Gives me an opportunity to think. Would I love that to be on a national level, if not a global one? Who wouldn't? But I love where I am. I'm always going to be satisfied with what I have because, the only person who suggests that I get either bigger or greater or bolder is God, and I leave it in his hands. I have no control.
Hey, I'm not saying you shouldn't be satisfied where you're at.
Oh, no, I know that. I know you're not saying
that. If you don't respect yourself, if you don't value yourself, no one else will do it for you. You have to do that first before anyone else will do it. I'm very,
very proud to be here. The moment that I got the opportunity to be at WTIC, I was immediately grateful. I praise God. I thank God for the opportunity. Of course, I thank Todd. Of course, I thank Janine. Joey has been absolutely a godsend. He even let me hug him in a bunny suit. I could never be more grateful. And
now it's supposed to be confidential. Stop.
We took a photo, Joey. We took a photo.
It's out there for the world to see.
For the world to see. But, and they've been kind to my family. Tom was so gracious with my son and had him on the air and loved every bit of him. This has been the most welcoming experience in my life. So I am very grateful. Like I said, if Connecticut is the only place for me, it will be the only place for me, and I'll be fine with it.
Who said TIC can't go nationwide?
Hey, I couldn't agree more. As far as I'm concerned.
Come on, man. Download the all-new Odyssey app.
That's right.
AUDACY. You can get us anywhere.
That's right. Absolutely.
I like the plug. Thanks for that, Matt.
No, Michael B. said, is Joey a furry? No, just on Christmas. Just on Christmas. Just for Christmas. It's a year-round thing. And I will admit this. Nothing is better than seeing Joey in a pink bunny outfit with a beard. It is weird and sexy at the same time. That's all I can tell you. We got to take a break. In a minute, we're going to our first check of traffic. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate the kind words, and thank you for being such a valuable friend. Let's get our first check of the traffic with, wait a minute, Mark Christopher's not here today, right? Who do we have?
No, I'm here today.
Oh, Mark is here today. Okay, maybe it's next week. I got you wrong.
Tomorrow I'm off.
It is tomorrow you're off. It is Friday. I knew it was Friday. I think it's Friday already. Anyway, Mark Christopher, who I'm certain has never put on a bunny outfit. Yes?
A bunny outfit?
Yes.
I'm not so certain. I'm not so certain I haven't done
that.
Okay.
Mark has forgotten more bunny outfits than he can remember.
I hope I haven't put one on, but you never know.
There you go. Mark Christopher's in the BPS traffic center. Let me move on.
All right. There could be pictures somewhere.
You're clear.
Hey, if you're heading on 91 northbound, you've got a good ride. Cromwell through downtown up in the winter. A little bit tight now as you move up.
I actually wore that the other day to the kids' football game because it was pink out day.
Oh, get out.
I texted my son. I was like, Pink Bunny? He's like, hell yeah.
The westbound side of 84, you're tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford. And you're tight right out to exit 47. Circuit Street 84 eastbound slows about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel.
Now, if you're traveling east of the river, 291, 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound, Waterbury delays from 26 in Cheshire. You're slow right up to the Mixed Master in Waterbury. 84 eastbound's a little tight by exit 18. If you're traveling 84 eastbound at Danbury, some slow traffic 3 to 5. Again, some slow traffic 84 eastbound by 11 in Newtown. Southbound 95 tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. And we have a road closure right now, and this is affecting 72 eastbound. That is shut down at exit 4 because of a serious accident between exit 4 and 2 involving a motorcycle. So once again, 72 eastbound shut down at exit 4 in Plainville. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. For the rest of today, clouds giving way to sun. It'll be breezy, the high of 72. Clear and colder tonight, the low down to 39. Sunny, cooler day for us on Friday, but pleasant to round out the week with a high of 65. On Saturday, partly sunny, windy. Can't rule out a shower. That high of 63 will feel like the 50s throughout the day with that busy west-northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Crews say that homes near the large Berlin brush fire, the Hawthorne fire, continue to be safe. No evacuation orders in the offing, and Berlin Fire Chief John Masserio says there are no air quality alerts either.
At this time, there's no concerns about air quality. Some residents in the area might notice, smoke, and, if they have some sensitivity, asthma, we just recommend that they close the windows. You might see some teams from DEP driving through the neighborhoods with some air quality monitoring vehicles just so we could check.
Now, the fire is at 107 acres. There are 3 choppers above the scene dumping water from the Silver Lake onto the fire. The state is requesting FEMA funding to help pay for those choppers. Cost runs about $100,000 a day. There are between 40 and 50 crew members on the ground at this point. And the Berlin Fire Chief, Masserio, says the hope is to finally have this thing under control, or at least making a good hold on it by the weekend. Funeral arrangements for the firefighter that was killed this week battling that fire have been released. Robert Sharkovich Sr.'s wake is Sunday at Farley Sullivan Funeral Home from 2 to 7. The Wethersfield volunteer firefighter, who had a long career with the Hartford Fire Department as well, will be laid to rest following a funeral mass Monday at 11 a.m. at the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford. Sharkovich died when the UTV he was riding in crashed, injuring 3 other firefighters. Hartford's plunking down $16.5 million in investments in children and its neighborhoods. Mayor Arunan Arulampalam made the announcement today on Park Street. He says those were the 2 key issues he heard about most during his campaign for mayor a year ago.
So would you invest in our kids, and would you invest in our neighborhoods? We see the growth, we see the opportunity here in the city, but is everybody going to get a share of that opportunity? Is everybody going to get a share of that growth?
The money from FY24 surplus will include $11.5 million for a neighborhood investment fund to build homes and increase home ownership. The mayor says only about 7% of the city's residents own their own home. The rest are renters. 97% of respondents in a Bridgeport CEA survey say they have no confidence in their school superintendent's ability to lead. They cite fears of retaliation, communication issues, and non-research-based policy decisions. Union President Kate Diaz says she's concerned 80% of teachers say they are considering leaving the district.
I really believe that the Bridgeport community deserves better than what they're currently getting from their administration and from their leadership. I believe that it's time to hold people accountable. We've seen the practice, we've seen the decision making, and the people of Bridgeport deserve better.
Economy is the dominant issue in these last dozen days of the presidential campaign.
She's really focusing on the middle class, that big, large swath of the electorate, and her messaging has been that the economy is doing better. If you look at the different economic indicators, Donald Trump has essentially been messaging that Harris is a continuation of the Biden administration. She's the vice president, after all, but also a continuation of Biden inflation, as they derisively call Biden economic policies.
Finn Gomez is CBS News political director. Lots of ticker tape down New York's Canyon of Heroes today, celebrating the WNBA Liberties Championship.
This is so amazing. You know, plus Brooklyn winning the championship. Like, New York is celebrating. It's just wonderful.
Thousands line the parade route to honor the team who beat Minnesota this week to claim their first WNBA title. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow down 140, NASDAQ up 138, S&P up 12 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-953-1788. 800-953-1788. 800-953...
Ah, you almost ready, bud?
I'm ready. I'm here.
Oogie doogie.
For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, baby. Top of the hour. Right here on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Stupidest thing that I've read today, find out why Meta, you know, the company that owns Facebook, why they fired dozens of employees this week. When I saw the story, I couldn't believe it, folks. It involves toothpaste. I'm not kidding. They fired dozens of employees over toothpaste. Maybe toothpaste is a big reason why. You just have to read it yourself. You got to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's Reese, REESE, on the radio.com to see the story. Just go to the section, the stupidest thing I read today. It literally just went live 7 minutes ago. That's insane. When we come back from the break, President Joe Biden must pardon his son. And there's only one reason why he must pardon him. You know the story. Hunter's going to court. Hunter's been found guilty. Hunter may have to do a significant amount of time in jail. The only thing that's going to spare that is if he gets pardoned. President Joe Biden, his father said under no circumstances would he do it. Karine Jean-Pierre said that we stand by what we said. We will not pardon him. But he will have to now because, we'll read the story to you, because Donald Trump has said that if he becomes president of the United States, he will consider pardoning Hunter Biden. And Joe, if you knew anything about Joe Biden, you would know why he can't let that stand. There's no way he can. In fact, Hunter, stand by. Daddy's on the phone working that pardon out right now. Let's get another check of your traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, would you, if you're the president of the United States and your son's going to jail, don't you just pardon him?
Depends on what he did.
Hunter Biden. It's just money stuff. He didn't pay his taxes.
Stuff.
Money
I
stuff.
probably would.
Yeah, I mean,
If
we're
he
not talking.
Killed somebody,
I
would.
Yeah, no. That you make them pay. My mom used to say it all the time. You know, you going to jail, you staying in jail.
but everybody's ripping everybody off.
Yeah, something
money-wise,
financial crimes are, again, things like that, you pardon them. But if it's your boy, that you don't even hesitate. I don't care what it looks like like what the optics
What
are.
does he
You do
care?
that.
He's done anyway.
Exactly.
His career's over, so.
Totally my point. Like that.
He's going to be sitting on some beach in Delaware.
Exactly. It'll be a blip on the radar in any history book. I think most people would have ignored it anyway. Yeah,
I agree with you.
It's the average answer. I figured as much.
Yeah. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now,
you're clear.
Report is being brought to you by Cape Cod Fence. So we're seeing delays on the southbound side of I-91. You're going to see slow traffic from exit 37 down to 36 in Windsor, and again 33 down to 32 A and B, 27 to 28. Then you're in some real heavy stop and go now from 25 S&N in Wethersfield. We have a serious accident, 91 southbound between 24 and 23. The left and left center lanes are blocked, so you want to stay to the right there. Northbound 91, that is moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. If you are traveling westbound 84, you've got slow traffic approaching the Bulkley Bridge up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound locked up from exit 46 into the tunnel. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound in Southbury, some slow traffic moving up between 16 and 17 again as you approach exit 18. Westbound 84 sluggish from 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing 3 to 5. Again, some slow traffic. 84 eastbound by 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, some slow traffic 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic brought to you by Cape Cod Fence. More than just fences.
Cape Cod Fence Company in Canton has been Connecticut's premier fencing contractor since 1956. Quality craftsmanship, products that last for years, and the local team known for expert installation. Check us out at capecodfence.com. Cape Cod Fence Company.
WTIC weather.
Clear and colder tonight with the low down to 39. It's still a bit of a breeze out of the north-northwest, making it feel even colder as well. Sunny and cool, but pleasant for our Friday to round out the week. The high of 65, just a light breeze out of the west. Saturday, partly sunny. It'll be windy. Can't rule out a shower as well. The high of 63 will feel like the 50s at best throughout the day, with that west-northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day Saturday. Sunday, less wind. It'll be a cooler day, mostly sunny, the high 57. Plenty of sun to kick off the week on Monday, but a cool day as well with that high of 54. Bridgeport, 68. New Haven at 70. It's also 70 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, I'm Brian Kilmeade. I am so excited to be on WTIC right here in Hartford, Connecticut. I'll be bringing all the breaking news with perspective, give you an idea what's happening, not only the election, but beyond, the things that matter to you on a daily basis. I promise to bring you the best guests, the most insight, and the most prepared. Right show up, Fox and Friends. I come up to do the Brian Kilmeade Show here on Fox News. Make sure you join me on WTIC. Hello, Connecticut. I hope I never have to say goodbye.
This October, Odyssey and Hartford Healthcare Cancer Institute are teaming up to save lives. Your donation can help provide free mammograms for women in need. Donate at lightthemonthpink.org. That's lightthemonthpink.org, because every gift makes a difference.
Are you a proud Connecticut business owner? We are too, with more than 45 years of experience handling business transactions for small and mid-sized businesses. And we know that not every business relationship works out as planned. If you find yourself in a dispute, call the law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott. Our team of business lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nick Payne Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navien's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
30 seconds.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Because you've
there you go.
Things to do at 7:28 in the morning. And stare at brake lights. Traffic and weather together on the 8s all morning on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
Love me some Billy Idol, baby. Woo! Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Hey, don't get me wrong. As much as I like when Roland is at the helm, Joey always plays like, I don't know. It's an age thing. It's just an age thing. We're just in the same, and we get this vibe, and Joey knows exactly what to play. I'm not even thinking of it, and then you play that bumper, and you make me go crazy.
Come on, man. I got to open up the giant 256 CD portfolio and start ruffling through them in the stoplight.
No doubt. I love it.
Kids these days don't understand.
Exactly. They wouldn't ever. That's one of my favorite things to do is to go through the old songs. I went through some like old break beats from like the 70s the other day because I want to do a DJ session, and I was going through some old stuff from like Malcolm McLaren, and those of you who know those, they're like old school break beat stuff. Pumpkin and the All Stars, which is a song I loved when I was 14. It's like all of this stuff, and everything was just rehashing. I felt like I was reliving my early teenage years. It was just the whole thing.
I made a post a couple weeks ago on Facebook. I was like, I miss mix CDs,
Oh.
like mixtapes, like not recording it from your radio with like actual mixing going on.
Oh, that's so. Oh, you know what? You know what you're bringing me back to now? The whole thing when the radio station would play the song and you would have to record it to keep.
Yep.
To keep the announcer. Or
I don't
the
need
DJ.
Casey Kasem introducing it.
Exactly. Gosh, now you bring up another classic, Casey Kasem. Still remembering. I'm always going to remember. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Did you ever hear that?
Yes.
Okay. These are the lost days. For those of you who don't know, you can find it online. It's Casey Kasem reading his long distance dedication. And the perfect one out of all the videos is somebody put this together. It is the instrumental to U2's Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Casey Kasem was trying to do a long-distance dedication that a little boy wrote about his dog who had, I guess, run away, right? Or had passed away.
I think it was Run Away.
Run Away. And Casey Kasem is trying to record the long-distance dedication, and he can't get it right. He keeps going through these bloopers, but instead of finding the bloopers humorous, he gets more and more annoyed and starts cursing his behind off in a way that makes you go, Casey. Like it was like your favorite. It was like Mr. Rogers using profanity. That's how weird it was.
You don't expect it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a good thing. But the guy who put it together when I was a kid, the Z Morning Zoo put it together and played it one time and had to bleep it out, of course. But they had this still haven't found what I'm looking for in the background, which of course adds to the effect of him losing it over this long distance dedication. And it's great. The time that makes me think about it the most is that video of Bill O'Reilly on, what was that show? Inside Edition? No, wasn't it?
Do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. It reminds me of that moment, that meltdown. That's right. Michael A. says he has a meltdown, and it's the best. It's the best. It showed me that, oh my God, Casey Kasem's human.
And yeah, everyone's human in this business. We all make mistakes.
Exactly. It is classic. And if you find it, I think you can find it on YouTube because I played it for the boy recently, and he was like, what? The only reason why he had any reference to Casey Kasem was when I started showing him the old Super Friends videos, because Casey Kasem does the voice of Robin.
Yep.
And I was showing him, and he was like, holy crap. And it's like he would have never, it's like Casey Kasem was like a voiceover legend.
Yeah.
So I just mentioned
we
that.
all wish to be like him.
Oh, exactly. He's one of the greats. Back to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Ralph is in South Carolina. How are you, sir?
Reese, you got to answer a question for me.
What do you got?
This idiot it was a national paper that talked about Trump saying things about a young lady who was killed and saying that he has an unnamed source. How would you like to be in court and someone accuse you, but I'm going to tell you who I am?
You know what?
I'm just going to remain anonymous.
That's the part that I thought was amazing, because Guy Benson on Fox News made that very point, and Guy Benson is a journalism major. He works at Fox News, and he was on Brett Baer's panel, I think last night, if not the night before. Maybe it was Tuesday. But he was talking about the journalistic malpractice by Goldberg at the Atlantic magazine that would put out a story that is not verified by several sources, by one source alone. If you'd have sent that to any other editor outside of the Atlantic, it would have never been printed. And, everyone is saying that, and that wasn't even the scariest part that Guy Benson mentions. Guy Benson also says that the scary part about that was that CBS News would make it its lead story the next day.
Well, I'll tell you how I feel, and I'm sure you feel the same way. I hope that family files a lawsuit against him and his piece of garbage paper or a magazine, whatever it happens to be, and comes home with a few $100 million. I mean, there's got to be some downside, Reese, when you lie and you're not honest. There's got to be a downside somewhere. They got to put law, in my mind, they got to put laws in a place where you lie, it's proven you lied, and you don't have any proof. Well, now you're going to be sued.
I think you know what I tend to agree with you because I don't know, I can't. I'm not a legal scholar, but on its face, Ralph, what you and I think we're agreeing on is that there has to be a degree of election interference here by the standards that were put by the DOJ. Because the fact that they contacted Elon Musk, right, and told Elon Musk that he might be breaking the law with his $1 million a day little, what do you call it, sweepstakes, giveaway that he's doing. They say to him, now this is the Department of Justice that contacts a guy and says, you may be breaking the law. Can you imagine if you had been pulled over by a state trooper and you had asked him, officer, why are you pulling me over? And he said to you, well, that right turn you made over there, you may have broken the law. Sit here for a minute. Let me go look up the law and find out how it is you violated it.
You're 100% right, Reese. And this is the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
And when you look at doing things like this, and that just shows you when they went after Trump all those times, it's all political, it's all lies, and these people don't know what law is. They make it up as they go.
Lori, you always bring this up, but you're 100% right every time you do. Like Harry Reid saying that he heard Mitt Romney didn't pay his taxes. On the Senate floor, no doubt, which again should have been, how many laws did Harry Reid break? And then he openly admitted it with a grin. Well, he didn't win, which again, that's election interference. That is putting your thumbs on the scale. And not only that, let me add this, Lori. What Harry Reid did by saying that was not only a violation of the law, it was criminal. Because how could Harry Reid have seen his tax returns if someone at the IRS didn't provide them to him, which is a violation of the law?
Right, this is Ralph, Reese, not Lori.
Ralph, I'm sorry, Ralph. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Reese, just let me tell you right now to your face, I am not changing my sex for you.
No, I'm reading Lori's comment. I'm reading Lori's comment in the chat room. My apologies. That's right. Thank you, sir. You're absolutely right. That's right. Privacy laws were violated. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate you, sir. All of that stuff was happening. And, again, this exaggeration or this implementation of the law where they see fit, absolutely baffles me. Just recently, a story that and you guys will remember, because if you listen to my Sunday show or watch me on my podcast, I was on this thing like a rabid dog. Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade. He just testified to the Select Committee, and he admitted that he was having private meetings with White House counsel. Not on one occasion, on 2 occasions. And that bozo, to show you exactly how much this guy was nickel and diming the taxpayers of Fulton County. This bozo. And my friends know exactly what I'm going to say when I say this. So I'm going to skate around it like I'm Dorothy Hamill. let me tell you this. Nathan Wade proved himself to be exactly who he is. When you are meeting with White House counsel to try to prosecute a former president, you keep that a secret and you put it in there as something else, not blatant. You may think that, whoa, Nathan Wade was being honest. Well, that's interesting, because if Nathan Wade was being honest, he would have never met with White House counsel while he is prosecuting the White House primary opponent. So that goes out the window. But because these two morons, these two star-crossed lovers, saw this as nothing more than to line their pockets, like every one of these prosecutors, you know who they are, or politicians in these cities, Atlanta, Dalton, New York, you know who I'm talking about. Usually has a last name like Jackson, Washington. You know who I'm talking about. They always try to game the system. And this bozo actually charged for 24 hours in one of those meetings. A full 24. I worked a full 24 hours. That's how shady this piece of garbage is. He's meeting White House counsel, and he openly admitted it. Now, imagine that would have happened under any administration. Imagine that would have happened under the Bush administration. Remember, they were trying to get rid of, what was that guy's name? Why am I forgetting his name? He wasn't the Department of Homeland Security. He was the Attorney General. Latino guy. His name will come to me. His name will come to me. Somebody's going to know exactly who I'm talking about. Remember that scandal when Bush had fired all those lawyers? And they were calling it an incredible scandal of the Bush administration because the only lawyers they were getting rid of were leaning to the left or didn't like the Bush administration. It was a complete it was a complete scandal, at least to the news media. Can you imagine that? So it's going to be interesting what happens in the next couple of days. I'm hoping that you know what? I hope that Donald Trump gives a directive that just says whoever he puts in charge of the Department of Justice, I hope he looks at him and he just says, I'm appointing you to do your job, and I hope that you do it well. And then let the entire country lose their ever-loving mind. He's coming for us. I hope they're shaking their boots every day. I hope they join Russell Simmons in Thailand. Yeah, anybody wonder why Russell Simmons in Thailand? Anybody heard from him? Is there a Def Jam in Thailand? I don't know. When we come back, we got more Diddy news. Yes, I haven't talked about it all that much, so I can talk about it today. I think it's been weeks since I talked about P. Diddy. We got more news about him, and we got the 5 o'clock focus. I think this one's going to be a good one. I've got a great story about this one, about this 5 o'clock focus, and it has to do with the economy, and I think you'll enjoy it. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Alberto Gonzalez, thank you so much. You were a little late to the game, Rama, but that's his name, Alberto Gonzalez. That's who I was talking about. I can't believe you didn't remember that, Lori. Alberto Gonzalez, that's who it was. That whole scandal with him. He was firing lawyers, and they said he was just firing liberal lawyers. Talk about redundancy. Anyway, there's no such thing. Yeah, we'll get into all of that. I didn't even play the Kamala Harris clips that I wanted to play. Okay, I'll play a little bit of those, too. I'll play those before I get into the Diddy news, so stick around for that. And, of course, your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Now, let's get another check of our traffic with our good friend, Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Hey, you're clear.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, you got a heavy ride 91 southbound coming into Hartford right now. You've got some delays now up in Windsor as you move down between exit 37 and 36. Again, you're slowing from exit 34 down to 32 A and B, and then you're locked up from 27 all the way down to between 24 and exit 23. A rollover accident there has the left and left center lanes blocked. You want to stay to the right there. After that, good ride down into Meriden. Northbound 91 looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into the Windsor exits. Westbound 84 tied up approaching 56 Governor Street up to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound slowing from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound's a little slow between 5A and 5C. 2 westbound tight exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound Middletown, you've got delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound slowing 25 in Waterbury up to exit 22 on the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound some slow traffic between 16 and 17 in Southbury. Again, a little slow between 26 and the 691 interchange. Heading into Danbury, 84 eastbound tied up from the New York, Connecticut line out to the area of exit 5 in Danbury. And then again, some slow traffic 8 to 9 in Newtown and 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, you've got slow traffic 61 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Brought to you by Ulta Beauty.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of today, the clouds giving way to sun. It'll be breezy and mild this afternoon, the high of 72. Clear and colder tonight, the low down to 39. Then for our Friday, a pleasant day, sunny, cooler, the high of 65, but just a light breeze out of the west. Then Saturday, partly sunny and windy again. Can't rule out a shower. The high of 63 will feel like the 50s throughout the day with that busy west-northwest wind cranking away at 15 to 25 miles an hour sustained through the day. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
68 degrees at 4:30. I'm John Silva. Funeral arrangements have been released for the firefighter who died battling that brush fire in Berlin this week. Calling hours for Robert Sharkovich Sr. will be Sunday from 2 to 7 at Farley Sullivan Funeral Home in Wethersfield. His funeral is Monday at the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford, beginning at 11 a.m. That fire is now just shy of 110 acres. Crews are being assisted by 3 helicopters that have been dropping water on the mountain. State says it'll seek FEMA relief because it's costing $100,000 a day for the use of those choppers. The Berlin fire chief says if all goes well, they should have a good hold on the fire by the end of the weekend. Connecticut Education Association survey finds 97% of Bridgeport teachers responding to a survey have lost confidence in their superintendent and her ability to lead the district, citing communications challenges and poor policy decisions not based on research. Meriden police investigating a hit and run in the area of Broad Street. That's where a 21-year-old female pedestrian was struck by a sedan that was either white or gray in color, leaving the victim with serious head and lower body injuries. Palestinian officials say an Israeli strike on a school where displaced people were sheltering in the central Gaza Strip has left at least 17 dead. Strike comes as Secretary of State Blinken says Israel had accomplished its objective of effectively dismantling Hamas and that ceasefire negotiations would resume in the coming days. On Wall Street, the Dow finished down today, 140 points. NASDAQ was up 138. S&P gained 12 points. NBA tonight, Celtics travel to Washington to play the Wizards. In the NHL, the Bruins host Dallas, and Florida skates at MSG against the Rangers. Thursday night football tonight's the Vikings at the LA Rams. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-1305. That's 800-291-1305. 800-291-1305.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only
1 minute.
WTIC News Talk
Pretty good.
1080.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
Me! That's why California psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee, if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty. CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800.
There we go.
5050.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. Reese on the Radio. I want to play these before I get into the Diddy stuff. The town hall yesterday on CNN with Kamala Harris. These are interesting to me for a lot of reasons, as you can imagine. But Kamala should be able to answer a lot of these questions, because we're often told that the average person can say where they made mistakes in their lives. I can, if someone were to say to me, "Hey, Reese, name a time in your life where you made some mistakes." We're going to go first marriage, second marriage, third marriage. I can say that. Now, I might be joking a little, half joking, and a lot of those, definitely, the second marriage. But I can tell where I made some mistakes. Moving to a particular place, school. I can think of a million different things that I made mistakes with. Right? I mean, that's a fabric of life. One of the things that have been very, very often talked about in politics is that many people say that they wish that they had a politician who, when they made a mistake, could be honest. I don't want to bring this back to Donald Trump, but this is one of the things they always say. It was like, Donald Trump never admits that he made a mistake. So I found this interesting when asked the question by Anderson Cooper to Kamala Harris. Listen close.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes. And they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
What? And she was asked also by one of the people in the audience. I thought this made no sense, but here the question again.
What weaknesses do you bring to the table, and how do you plan to overcome them while you're in office?
That's a great question, Joe. Well, I am certainly not perfect, so let's start there. And I think that perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength, is I really do value having a team of very smart people around me who bring to my decision-making process.
When has that ever been viewed as a mistake or a weakness? I don't remember anybody in my lifetime ever saying, one of the mistakes I had was having people around me that I could bounce ideas off of. I don't remember one person saying, "You know what, Reese? You bounce ideas off people too much. You should go it alone." Asking people or, getting other people, considering other people what their ideas might be. Yeah, just a bad idea. You know what? We're going to have to fire you for that. Let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, do you ever have to ask anybody just to make sure? Should I mention the accident on the Berlin Turnpike, or do you have to get a review?
No, nobody. I don't get screened usually, but now that you brought it up, you might have gave somebody an idea.
Oh, no kidding.
Hey, don't mention that. So there you go. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, we are
You're clear, sir.
down in Rocky Hill. This traffic report being brought to you by Stu Leonard. You're going to see delays 91 southbound coming into Hartford, 35 down to 32 A and B, and then you're locked up from 27 all the way down to between 24 and 23 in Rocky Hill. Rollover accident left and left center lanes blocked. You want to stay to the right there. Now, northbound 91 looking good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbounds losing some speed from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbounds heavy coming off of I-84 out to exit 5C. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury 84 eastbound, you'll lose a little speed as you move between 16 and 17 in Southbury. 84 westbound slowing from 25A up to 22 in Waterbury. Also eastbound 84 a little tight in Cheshire, 26 down to the 691 interchange. 84 eastbound Danbury delays near Connecticut line to exit 3 again from 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, you got your delays from 61 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound, you're slowing from exit 46 down to 43 in West Haven. This week at Stu's Leonard's, they have 2 great deals on Stu's app. Their mighty beef porterhouse steaks are only $9.99 per pound. You save $5 plus fresh, all-natural whole chicken legs, only 99 cents a pound. That's half price. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by True Law. SickVets.com.
WTIC weather.
It'll be clear and colder tonight. The low down to 39, then sunny, pleasant for our Friday. The high of 65 with a light breeze out of the west. Then Saturday, partly sunny, windy and cool. Shower can't be ruled out either. That high 63 will feel like the 50s at best throughout the day with that west-northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Then it's in the 50s for Sunday, though much less windy, mostly sunny, the high of 57. Plenty of sun, cooler Monday to kick off the new week with the high of 54. So we've got cool weather sticking around here as we head through the second half, especially of the weekend. Right now, Bristol at 67, New London at 70. It's also 70 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Radio has often been said to be theater of the mind, and with good reason. During the Depression years, families would gather around the radio to hear comedy, news, sports, music, and a new form of entertainment, the radio drama. The WTIC Playhouse went on the air in 1931 under the direction of Guy Hedlund. Guy put together a company of local actors who would work for WTIC part-time in addition to their other area productions. Fun fact, one of the cast, Jan Miner, went on to be Madge the manicurist in Palmolive TV ads. Dramatic writing for radio was an art. You had to blend voices, music, and sound effects into a feast for the imagination. The series continued for about 10 years. In later years, it was called the Guy Hedlund Players. Several episodes were picked up for broadcast on the NBC network of radio stations.
Now listen, a minute ago you swore up and down we'd stay at home tonight.
Oh, did I?
You certainly did.
Oh, but darling, I didn't say whose home we'd spend it at.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/rain to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, We'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/rain. That's leaffilter.com/rain.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For truck,
Here we go.
for whole family,
Ready to
call
go.
1-800.
I got one for you here, buddy.
What do you got? Music. Okay.
Yeah.
WTIC News Talk 1080. The more you listen, the more you know.
Man! Now you are starting You're starting a fight right now. This song is the only thing good about Electric Boogaloo. It's the only.
Come on, man. This movie coined the Jean-Claude Van Damme dance meme.
This is also true, but it originally. Do you remember what it's originally from? The song is called "There's No Stopping Us," but it's from the second of Electric Boogaloo 2. Is that what it's called? Breakin' Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, it's from the Breakin' movies. The sequel, and this was I'm not gonna lie. That song was so hot. It was on the Billboard 100. And we played it. We hated the Electric Boogaloo because it was, we had Beach Street and Electric Boogaloo. I mean, we had Breakin'. And Breakin' is always considered sort of like the Kmart of breakdance movies. But that song, Ain't No Stopping Us, was such a big record.
Yes.
And we loved it. That and, of course, Shaka Khan's song, which was I Feel For You.
Yes, then you had Wild Style, don't
forget. Right, Wild Style was earlier.
Grandmaster Kaz.
Exactly. And, gosh, you talk about taking me back. Wow.
That's what I do here. I break down
Oh,
these out.
man. That's like literally I'm sitting there going, oh, my goodness. That was such a great song. It's funny. This is going to be embarrassing. This is going to be embarrassing. That song would come on in my headphones, like wearing my Walkman or whatever the case was. It didn't matter where I was, but if the radio played that song, I would start breakdancing and pop locking in the middle of the street no matter where I was going.
Don't scuff the shell toes.
Oh, it was so bad. It was like whatever it was. I remember my mother, we were going out shopping on 34th Street in Herald Square, and this song came on, and I started breakdancing in the street. My mom said to me, "Stop embarrassing me." She went and grabbed me by my hand, and she would go, "You can't dance in the middle of the street like that." And I was just, it was a different age, and I was a complete lunatic, but I loved music so much that I would dance anywhere if my favorite song was on. It was that was one of them. Oh, talk about break. You knew I was going to lose it.
I had that feeling.
Yeah, I know you knew. Goodness gracious. Speaking of music, there's an article in the New York Post today talking about Sean P. Diddy Coombs. And yes, I pronounce it like that way on purpose. And this allegation, this crazy thing that's going on with him and these lawsuits. Now, look, folks, somebody's going to have to explain this to me because there's no statute of limitations on these things, these crimes that they are calling that it is sort of being cited against him in these lawsuits. I know it is only going to lead to criminal charges. That it's going to bolster the federal charges against P. Diddy. I get that. Don't get me wrong. I just find it odd that that the criminal stuff isn't happening before the lawsuits. But here's the question I haven't been able to figure out. And Joey, maybe you can help me on this one. I can't figure it out. If you have an answer for me, please, 860-522-WTIC, or go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com, and tell me what you think in the chat room. How does one get a stock of IVs? How does one procure a stockpile of IVs? I don't understand. And now listen, again, according to these lawsuits, and also according to the federal indictment, we know this shady thing. The most insane part was the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and other lubricants. Okay, I get all that. Yes, he was a weird, freaky guy. But the fact that there would be IVs that people would need at these parties after the fact. Of course, I understand taking drugs, be it cocaine, be it MDMA. I still don't know what that is. Forgive me. Ecstasy and other stuff. I don't know any of these drugs, so I'm not like a drug enthusiast. So I got nothing for you. But where does one get IVs? Now, you may have heard in that lawsuit of 120 people, I think this guy's representing, Tony Buzzo, his name, or something like that. Tony Busby, the attorney in Texas. He said that he is going after pharmaceutical companies. Now, I'm assuming the pharmaceutical companies named in these lawsuits are the people who supplied him with these IVs. And it's not a hypodermic needle. What kind of needle is it? The needles that go with the IV, whatever. I'm sure they all come in a package. But how does one, what kind of relationship do you have to have when you call somebody and say, hey, I'm P. Diddy, I'm going to need 12 cases of IVs? Like, where do you do that? I don't understand it.
People are knocking on Mark Christopher having an appliance guy who's Diddy's IV guy.
Exactly. That's why that's not a thing that you think you can get, right?
I don't have one of those in the Rolodex. I'm sorry.
Do you think, are they celebrities who get together and they go, hey, Jack Nicholson, who provides you with your IVs, when you're having parties, all-nighters?
Definitely not a class of people we're hanging out with.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I know there are plenty of people. Now, I got to say this before I get to the phone calls. The other thing that I also found crazy was, and I think I mentioned this before, was the fact that his lawyer comes out and says about the baby oil. He says, come on, people buy in bulk. He says, there's a Costco right around the corner. Now, you are up Ish Creek if Costco has to distance themselves from you.
I'm buying chicken tendies in bulk. Not
Not baby oil. But my favorite part of that story is that Costco releases a statement after his lawyer does and says, we regret to inform Mr. P. Diddy and his lawyer, we do not carry baby oil. So even a box store does not want to be associated with P. Diddy. We don't sell baby oil. We apologize. The fact that you had to be checked by Costco by saying, please do not stick our names in your mess.
Your Costco membership gets declined to the front door.
Exactly.
You did something stupid.
Exactly. We no longer would allow P. Diddy into our store. We will not even let him in with a friend with a Costco card. That's how bad it got. So I thought that was interesting. It's again, where do you get IVs on books? Somebody's got to know. If you're in the medical industry, can you just go down to the hospital and say, can I take 5 of those? Who does that? 860-522-WTIC. Oh, my good friend Joe in Simsbury is there. This may be a little too lowbrow for you, Joe. I don't know if that's helpful.
No, lowbrow for me is when I was younger and my friends would catch me singing I'm Every Woman. So to answer your question about the IVs, and first of all, the baby oil is not baby oil.
Okay.
The baby oil is oil that's laced with a drug that was used to intoxicate people.
Right.
For the acts that were taking place. So I chose my words very carefully.
Yes, you did. Very well.
And also, I'm sure a nurse can call in. Maybe if Patty from Waukesha is listening. You don't go to what I'll call IV school, phlebotomy school, or whatever you want to call it, on Friday and learn how to do it so you can start doing it on Monday.
Correct. That was what my wife
these
said.
People get these people get a lot of training. So the question I would be asking, along with where it's coming from, and I'll tell you where I think it's come from, is that what person or persons was there to find the vein, to do it in a professional way.
Right.
Because it wasn't P. Diddy.
Correct.
I'm sure it was not P. Diddy. And if he did go to a school for that, and or he got in, some sort of extensive training, I'd like to, see about prosecuting the person that did that.
Indeed.
But the reason that I called, other than the P. Diddy stuff,
right?
I just want to go on record as saying one word here, and this is me being conspiratorial, and I'm not going to even say what it has to do with.
Okay.
But I just want to go on record of saying the word Arkansas. So if something happens in Arkansas in the next 6 months, then hopefully people remember that I said it. And if it doesn't happen, I'll be the first one to call in and say, I called in one day and nothing happened having to do with Arkansas that would be major in any
Okay.
way. But
And you're giving it a
so
6
here's
month.
what
You giving a 6 month window on this Arkansas thing?
I'll give it a 3 month window.
Okay, go for it.
So, have you heard of what is referred to, or actually officially called, the Wayback Machine?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. So the Wayback Machine, as I understand it, used quite frequently by people in media, for
Sure.
example.
Yep, right here.
Is everything on the internet is archived.
Right.
And it's on a website called the Wayback Machine.
Correct.
And it's a highly protected website. And the reason that this matters today is that I just saw something having to do with something has happened, and there are charts that show this on the website, to a large portion of information that resided on the old Twitter, now called X, that has been removed from the Wayback Machine between the years 2019 and 2023. So if you look at the graph of Twitter, as I'll call it so people all know what it is, the graph will show a very steady level of the volume of information. And all that is every single person's tweet.
Right.
And all our replies. It all lives on the Wayback Machine.
Correct.
Even if we delete it. So it is our way of going back in the internet and seeing what people said.
Right.
And that's where people in the media use it.
Yeah, and many people who are like watchdog groups to find out old stuff that you may have said, like if you're getting a new job.
Yep. So now people are wondering why there is a big, and I say big, it's, in the terabytes and maybe even larger. Why is that information suddenly gone from the Wayback Machine for Twitter/X for those years of 2019 to 2023? It is about 70%, maybe 65% of the regular volume. And what some people are saying is, oh, somebody hacked it. I'm sorry, that stuff doesn't get hacked. Somebody hacked it, and they were trying to get back at Israel. That's the other lie that's out there.
Right.
And I don't know what the reason is, but to me, this is a very serious situation because somebody is trying to remove history. And it's the history of COVID. That's what those years are. And there are people speculating, because we just don't know why, all people can point to is COVID time, is that are people trying to eliminate the fact that they were out there telling people that you need to get a vaccine, that you should not be part of society if you don't.
Right.
There's a lot of speculation going on right now because this kind of thing, people are driving home from work right now like, what does it really matter to me?
Right.
Well, it really matters when the people that are saving all of this information are now in a situation where a lot of it has disappeared.
Right.
And when
many
things
people are still
disappear
suing.
like that, you have to ask why.
Yeah, many people are still suing, and that stuff is pertinent as far as evidence is concerned.
It could also be criminal.
Yeah, exactly. I know James Woods is definitely going after the government for the he realized in the Twitter files that he indeed was targeted by the federal government. And if they're removing some of that information or things that he said or things that were done against him, all of that stuff is relevant. It's a very good point. I love the Wayback Machine. I'm so glad somebody talks about it. I thought it was kind of like just an insider secret, but now I know everybody kind of knows about it. Let's take a break. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. I know you know about the Wayback Machine, right? You got to know about it.
Yeah, way back. Way back in
You're
the
going
time.
way back right now. What
Nana
song was
Cherry.
that?
Nana Cherry. Kisses
Oh,
in the
Nana
Wind.
Cherry. You know what my wife didn't know? Remember when all the hip-hop kids used to say, nah, mean?
Yeah.
Remember that? That came
Yeah.
from Nana Cherry's Buffalo Stance.
Oh, good song.
The song where she goes in the middle of it, she says some words, whatever. She goes, "Nah, mean," in her British accent. Everybody in the hip hop game after that was saying, "Nah, mean." They got it from Nana Cherry. Yeah, there you go.
Old school, baby. Nana Cherry. Her father was a famous trumpet guy.
Yeah, he was a jazz musician. I just can't remember what he played. I knew nothing about him.
Yeah, I think he was a trumpet guy. Hey, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford and you're on the southbound side of I-91, you're looking at some heavy traffic coming down from Hartford into Rocky Hill. We'll start off 91 southbound in Hartford, delays 34 down to 32 A and B, and then you're back in a real heavy stop and go from 27 all the way down to between 24 and 23. The remains of a rollover accident just cleared moments ago, so all lanes have been reopened down there, but it's still very heavy. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. If you're traveling westbound 84, you're tied up approaching 56 Governor Street. You're heavy right out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic, 44 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 eastbound, slowing I-91 over to the Bristol Bridge. If you're traveling 2 eastbound, you've got delays coming off of Route 2 out to 5C. Route 3 southbound's heavy in Glastonbury as you move by exit, Route 2, basically from Route 2 all the way down to the 91 South ramp because of that earlier accident in Rocky Hill. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound, delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in, let's see, that would be Cheshire. You're looking at delays from 26 up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, you've got some slow traffic now as you push up on exit 18 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury, and again slowing 26 down to the 691 interchange. 84 eastbound in Danbury, slowing New York, Connecticut line to 5. 84 eastbound in Danbury, tight again 8 to 9, and again 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, look for slow traffic from 62 down to 60 in Hamden, and 95 South New Haven, tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Clear colder tonight, upper 30s, and then another sunny day for Friday. The brush fire in the woods of Berlin, the Hawthorne fire, now measured at 107 acres. It's getting expensive to fight. The state has made a request to FEMA for a grant to help cover the cost. State Emergency Management Director Bill Turner passed along this estimate from the National Guard as 2 of its helicopters work to douse the flames.
A day like today with 2 helicopters could cost upwards of $100,000. And, yesterday, not flying all day was somewhere around $60,000. That's just one agency. So you start doing the math with all the agencies involved. Obviously, aviation's very expensive, but, you start adding all the numbers up, and we're getting into the hundreds of thousands of dollars range very easily.
Third helicopter is at work today on loan from Maine. Between 40 and 50 crew members have been on the ground. Berlin Fire Chief John Masserio says they hope to get a good hold on the blaze by the end of the weekend. They could be putting out hotspots, though, for weeks. Funeral arrangements for the firefighter killed this week working that fire have been released. Calling hours for Robert Sharkovich Sr. will be held Sunday at Farley Sullivan Funeral Home from 2 to 7. He'll be laid to rest following a funeral mass Monday at 11 from the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford. His obituary says Sharkovich was a 22-year veteran of the Wethersfield Volunteer Fire Department, who also had a long career with the Hartford Fire Department prior to that. Sharkovich died when the UTV he was riding in crashed on Tuesday, injuring 3 other firefighters. He leaves behind his wife, mother, 4 children, and 2 grandchildren, in addition to many other family members. New round of talks to reach a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Correspondent Rami Inocencio reports Israeli negotiators will be there.
They are dispatching the head of the Mossad, David Barnea, to Doha this Sunday. And in another development, Qatar's premier said that they have actually recently re-engaged with Hamas after Yahya Sinwar was killed.
Hartford is using surplus money from FY24 to fund a Arab City initiative. This is Mayor Arunan Arulampalan.
$16.5 billion to invest in our children and our youth
and to invest in our neighborhoods, in the places where they matter the most. And I'm going to break down what that looks like, but it's $5 million for a children and youth investment fund and $11.5 million for a neighborhood investment fund.
He says neighborhoods and kids were the two main issues he heard about from citizens during his campaign for mayor a year ago. Our Lompalum says he wants to increase the number of Hartford residents who own their own home, currently only at 7%. Woman State Police say falsely reported harassment incidents in the past is now under arrest. 63-year-old Deborah Ann Kalotis is charged. Investigators say she made numerous complaints for over a year. Officers say she told them hers and another's social media accounts were hacked. They included doctored photos and erroneous information claiming Kalotis was widowed and deceased. She is free on $75,000 bond due in court next month. Former GOP Representative Fred Upton is endorsing Vice President Harris, referencing former President Trump's actions during January 6th. Upton, one of 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach the former president in 2021. More from CBS News correspondent Nicole Killian.
This is an attempt to pick off some of those disaffected Republican voters and moderates, maybe those who might have supported, for instance, Nikki Haley as opposed to the former president during the primary, or maybe someone who supported the former president in the last couple of cycles, but may have some reservations with respect to his rhetoric and kind of how he carries himself.
Dow was down 140 points today on Wall Street. NASDAQ up 138, S&P up 12. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out because penalties,
yes, sir,
paid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-953-1788. 800-953-1788. 800-953-1788.
Tax relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus. Come on, man. Focus already.
So I'm talking to my wife actually in the background. And she's like, you can order IVs online.
What's up, Roseanne?
They actually have a kit, Joey, that you can, a kit that you can buy. It's actually to train you how to put an IV in.
No, come on.
It comes with a hand and everything that you can stick the syringe in. The package is like $700.
Just imagine the guy delivering all those to P. Diddy's house.
Exactly. They've got, oh my goodness. And I'm not even going to tell you.
Phlebotomy starter kit.
It's insane. I'm not even going to give away the company. It's so crazy. All right. Anyway, so the 5 o'clock focus, I'm going to tell this story as fast as I can. It was a girl by the name of Ruby that I met out in Manhattan, and I was a broke kid who didn't have a lot of money, and I really, really liked this girl. And she had never been to New York. She was from New Jersey, and I wanted to take her out on a date, but I wanted to take her on a date that she would have the time of her life on a limited budget. I took her downtown Manhattan and took her on the Staten Island ferry, danced with her while a guy played the violin to I'm in the Mood for Love, and it was only 25 cents. That was what I paid for the entire date, 50 cents for us to go to Staten Island. It was free to come back. That's what I did. I actually paid 50 cents for a boat ride. Here's the 5 o'clock focus question. What is the least that you've ever spent on a date that worked out grand? Like, I want to know the amount of money you spent that actually worked out great, whether it was with your wife or whether or not your significant other, like something you went absolutely cheap, not because you had to, where you just didn't spend a lot of money and it was the most romantic thing in the world and you came out like a hero. Because I know guys who will spend, above and beyond, but I want to know who, if you spent a little bit of money, almost dirt cheap. Listen, 50 Cent holds the record for a date, okay? You're never going to beat that. Don't even try. But I want to know whether or not you took your wife or significant other or somebody you were dating on a cheap date, how much you spent. Mark Christopher's at the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, you got to answer. Your wife's, anybody you dated, what was the least you spent and came out like a champ on the other end?
Wow.
Even if it was a movie. You know, back when they were a nickel, when we were dodging dinosaurs to go to school.
Man, oh, man.
You
I made one of my girlfriends climb Mount Washington, and, you know, I was so...
That was the date, to climb Mount Washington?
Well, we were dating, and now we did that one day. We climbed Mount Washington up in New Hampshire, which is, what, 4 hours up, 4 hours down. And so that was a pretty cheap
Yeah, that
day.
is a cheap date.
I mean, that's just lunch at the top of the mountain, and you just walk up and down.
What, did you have lunch at the top of the mountain?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? You winner. That's a date.
Come on.
That's a cheap date.
So we were an item at that point.
Hey, it's not the point. It doesn't matter whether or not I'm talking about it any time in your relationship, not just first date. That's significant. You took her all the way up.
That might have been the happiest day I was ever with her. I mean, there were a lot of happy days,
Right.
but I was so proud because this is a woman who basically always wore high heel shoes.
Yeah.
So for her to climb Mount Washington and get up to the top and get down to the bottom.
She probably fell in love with you all over again because you were willing to risk your life to have a picnic.
I don't know if we were risking our life, but it was a major accomplishment. I'm gonna have to carry her down. But we made it. So
yeah,
that was probably the cheapest date I ever had.
Okay, no, listen to me. I'm not gonna lie. That outdoes. Listen to me. I took the Staten Island ferry. They did all the work.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But we had a basically an 8-hour commitment plus an hour at the top of the summit commitment.
Right.
So that was a long day.
Yeah.
And believe me, you sleep really well that night.
I bet you
do. You barely move. If you're heading into Hartford right now, overall we are very good.
Thank you, sir.
This traffic report is being brought to you by Ulta. And if you're making your way on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays from 34 down to 32 A and B. And again, you're going to see heavy traffic from exit 27 in Hartford, pretty much right down to exit 25 S&N in Wethersfield. That was kicked off from an earlier accident that is now gone. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching 56 Governor Street up to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound tight from 46 Sisson Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 2 eastbound slowing off of I-84 out to exit 5B. 2 westbound slows exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Now, if you're heading down in toward Middletown, 9 northbound, you got delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18. Westbound 84, some sluggish traffic from 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound tight in Danbury from the New York, Connecticut line out to exit 3. Again, a little slow, 9 to 10 in Newtown. Southbound 95 delays 46 down to 43 in New Haven. And southbound Parkway, you're slowing 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We're on the leading edge of high pressure building into the region. That's bringing winds out of the north-northwest tonight. Clear skies and cooler temps with the low down to 40. A sunny and pleasant day for Friday to round out the week. A high of 65, a light wind out of the west. And for Saturday, partly sunny, a windy day. Can't rule out a shower or front making its way through. The high of 67. Winds out of the west-northwest, 15 to 25 miles an hour. Then Sunday, with high pressure building in again, mostly sunny, the high of 59. Plenty of sun Monday. A cool day, though, the high of 54. Tuesday, pleasant and warmer, mix of clouds and sun, the high up to 64. Right now, Waterbury at 63, Danbury at 63, 68 in Hartford, though. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
The days are winding down for 2024. With that turn comes the end of your yearly benefits. Columbia Dental reminds you to use them or lose them before they disappear. If you haven't had your teeth cleaned lately, now's the time. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. ColumbiaDental.com.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Natural disasters happen every year. Fires, hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first...
1 minute.
Family trips to
Thank you.
Yellowstone. Lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners an incredible 50% off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings.
There we go.
On WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
The 5 o'clock focus. The 5 o'clock focus. Come on, man. Focus already.
5 o'clock focus on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Of course, I am Reese on the radio. I'm looking over at some news. There was supposed to be something I was supposed to break today. I don't think it's going to. Anyway, so 5 o'clock focus. Cheapest date ever. Now, I know that some people might be saying to themselves, you're talking about a first date? Or like, no, I'm talking about any date. Girlfriend, significant other, somebody you're just seeing, and you just went out and you did something. It didn't cost you a thing. I remember a girl that I dated. She was a lot older than me. I'm not going to say how old. I was 20-something at the time, and she was 40-something at the time. That's all I'm going to say. And we went out to Central Park, and we had a picnic outside listening to Gloria Estefan perform with the Philharmonic. And for those of you who, you might remember when Gloria Estefan was running around, but she had left Miami Sound Machine. She was doing a lot of personal top 40 stuff. So, yeah, we had a picnic outside watching the Gloria Estefan Philharmonic. Yeah, it was fun. Like, I've done stuff like that. And again, I came out like a champ, like a hero. It is rare that you get to do that. Most guys go above and beyond for their girlfriends. They date them, and when they date them, they have to do something over the top. But some women don't care about that stuff. My wife says it all the time. We don't always have to spend money. We could just go walk. I know my wife. That woman likes $700 bags, okay? It's difficult to give her a cheap date. I could not just walk with my wife and have ice cream and call that a thing, okay? I understand that now. All right, but there are some girlfriends that I actually had to be creative. But that's the point here in the 5 o'clock focus. How creative did you get where you spent the least amount of money and you gave that girl a memory that made you look like a hero? I don't care if you got lucky or anything, but you know what I mean. If you look like a hero. 860-522-WTIC. Sean's in Meriden. How you doing, big guy? I got your text message, by the way.
Good. I'm glad. Two things. I had two that were very inexpensive. I just got out of college, and I met this girl, and we were dating, and I didn't have a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And so I drove to her house, and I brought a boom box, and we walked up the street to where there was a pond, and we just sat and talked till like 2 a.m, and it cost me nothing other than the boom box and just talking. And we just talked for like hours, and it was absolutely a great day.
See, again, and you walked away like she didn't feel slighted in any way. She didn't need a.
Oh no, she loved it. She thought it was fantastic.
Now that one. I'm not sure if you ended up dating her for a long time, but that's what we call a keeper.
Actually, yes, dated, married, and then she divorced. But
okay.
Either way, 30 years in, 30 years worth of, and two handsome boys. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Damn, not bad, sir. What was the second one?
The second one was we were going to return a mattress down in New Haven because we had gotten the wrong one or wasn't good or whatever, and we just happened to go by the park near New Haven, and Chuck Mangione was playing.
Wow.
And so we then pulled the blankets out of the car and sat down to listen to Chuck Mangione, and then people next to us say, "Hey, you want to share our wine? You want to share our?" Cost me nothing, and we had a concert and food, and I didn't pay a dime.
Now you know what? That's the luck of the draw right there. Good job. Thank you, Sean. Much appreciated. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. Joe, I know that I understand you're probably a wealthy guy. You had to at least had one cheap date.
Well, sure. When I lived in Manchester over 30 years ago, I used to work out at the Bally's 5-6 days a week.
Okay.
Played racket. Met a lot of gorgeous ladies. And you know what was funny? A lot of these gorgeous ladies were working out. And their boyfriends would be working out, and they would show up to kill, and the men in their lives were just kept men. They were gigolos.
Wow.
The Bally's were full of gigolo men in great shape. Oh, great
Sure,
shape.
sure.
You know, they're like Schwarzenegger types, but it was fabulous. Well, anyway, there was this Iranian girl. She was a fitness model, and she was in her early 30s, still great looking, and we became friends. And she loved to hike. And I said I had heard about the Hugh Blank Tower in Simsbury, and I'd been there a couple times. And I said, "You'd like to hike up the trail of Hugh Blank?" "Oh, she'd love that." So we drove up, and I suggest this to anyone. If you haven't been to Hugh Blank Tower in Simsbury, Connecticut, it is fabulous. So we get to the parking lot down below. It's about 1.25 miles, still going up a hill. But on your way, there's 2 cliff areas where paragliders, the people that paraglide, they jump off. And as we're walking up the trail, there were small crowds of people in 2 different sections, about 1/4 mile apart. We were watching people, they're like miniature, wings on them, the paragliders. And they have spotters holding the ends of their gliders. And they're jumping off the cliff, like committing suicide, and the wind catches them up there.
Wow.
But you're like 1,500 feet above sea level, and down below is I'm around the Granby side, on the east side. But anyway, they're jumping off these cliffs, and for a few seconds they're dropping, and all of a sudden the wind catches them, and up in the air they go, and they're up.
And just watching that is that's a spectacle in and of itself. So you just watch people paragliding.
Yeah, that was an unexpected sideshow. So after about half an hour watching that, we continued to the tower, and at the base they have literature at the bottom. You can pick up the history of the Hugh Blank Tower and the Hugh Blank entity. And then it's about 200 concrete steps to get to the very top, the observation post. It's like 12 stories.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, when you get up to the top, and you're not actually at the top of the tower, there's a restricted area above that that you're not allowed to go. But at the very top, about 12 stories high, you have these giant it's all glass in all 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. You look to the south, you can see Long Island Sound on a beautiful sunny day, which it happened to be. You could see Long Island Sound. And to the east, you could see into Rhode Island.
That's
to the
beautiful.
north, you could Bradley Field looked like it was close by. You could see way to the north of Bradley Field. And
That
looking
sounds-
to the west, you could see...
I'm not going to lie. As beautiful as it sounds, Joe, to be honest with you, that sounds like a lot of walking and climbing steps, but it still qualifies. I'll give you that. It's
a lot easier than Mount Washington.
I'd imagine as much.
The trail to the tower is maybe 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Depends how fast you walk.
Then
getting to the tower is a good 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's actually That's a good walk. 20 minutes, I could do it. I don't think I could deal with going upwards beyond 40 minutes. Let me get to somebody else. Thank you, sir. Mike is in Plainville. How you doing, sir?
My cheapest date.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna have to say one of those things that makes me go and think about it, like the song. Things that make you go
You haven't had one cheap date that didn't cost you, even when it was just like sharing a pizza slice.
I have, but I just can't reveal.
Oh, you can't.
I will at a later date reveal.
Okay.
My best pizza date.
Okay.
But
go ahead. What do you got?
You had a caller previous discussing retrieval of information from
yes, the Wayback Machine.
You know what? If it went the way he said it went, it's government. It's got to be.
Yeah, that's what. Again, I wouldn't put it past them at all, because the only people who need to protect themselves in that realm, especially when it came to COVID, is the government, and they're being sued every which way from Sunday.
NSA, Defense Investigative Agency, CIA is probably the most.
FBI too.
Mean, we had trillions of dollars disappear on September 10th, 2001. And
Well,
they didn't know where the money went.
Don't forget, the FBI was heavily involved. Eddie Chan was one of the people that we found out was very much involved with Twitter and its censoring of people online about things related to COVID, especially when it came to the election. He was right in the middle of that.
Reese, where do you think the trillions of dollars went the day before 9/11? You think it went into where do you think it went? What do you think they're using it for?
I don't know. That's
black
always
black programs.
Yeah, but that's always escaped me, and I'm having a hard time reconciling with a lot of stuff from 9/11. But you know what? I will discuss that, because I get a lot of that. People keep constantly saying, Reese, you know, what do you think about September 11th? And people keep asking me about it. I'm avoiding it like the plague. One day I'll say what I think, but I don't think it's going to be that popular. I don't think it's going to be that popular.
Every year since 9/11, I've been watching the documentaries, and each year I pick up something new that I didn't realize.
I know. I
Like,
know. Let me move on. Who's next? Jeff is in Marlboro. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, I got a good one for you. I took a girl to an ice cream stand, one of those places you walk up to, you get a cone or a bowl, whatever. And you know, you spend like $5 or whatever.
Sure.
But this was 25 years ago.
$5 25 years ago still sounds expensive for ice cream, I have to admit.
But you know, you get a cone, you get whatever. Had a nice time. And it ended, let's just put it this way, extremely nicely.
And all it cost you was ice cream? You didn't take her out, like, you know, at least sightseeing or anything?
No, so I'm not so sure it was so much of a cheap date as she was a cheap woman. I don't know. But...
wasn't expecting that, but fine. It still counts. There are no real rules to this game, so it really counts.
I think that qualifies.
I think it does. We have very loose parameters on this game, so we'll allow it. No flag on the play. I'm so saddened. I'm saddened that it had to go here, but I'm afraid that you're still within the boundaries of the rules. So we're just going to allow it. We're just going to allow it. There's nothing else I can say to you. I have to let you go though, because I'm completely lost for words now. Goodness gracious, Jeff. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a cheap date or a cheap woman. That's just awful. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center so I can recover. Hey,
Okay, Reese, thank you very much. The traffic report being brought to you by
Here, Clark.
Stu Leonard's. And on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays. Hartford 35 down to 32 A and B. And again, some more delays as you move by exit 29A down to exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line. After that, a nice ride until you get down into Rocky Hill, a little slow, 23 down to 22. And again, down by exit 20 Country Club Road in Middletown. Northbound side 91, that looks real good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84, sun really whacking you in the eyes right now. You've got delays in East Hartford approaching 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing approaching 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 2 eastbounds heavy coming off of I-84 out to 5C. 3 southbound delays from Route 2 over to the Putnam Bridge as you move down toward 91 South. If you are traveling 291 eastbound, a little tight from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. Now, if you're traveling 9 northbound, you've got delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 westbound in Waterbury, look for slow traffic now pretty much from the 691 interchange, and it's tight right up into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound delays as you move 17 to 18 in Waterbury, and again some slow traffic 26 down to the 691 interchange. Danbury, 84 eastbound slowing New York, Connecticut line to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays from the Q Bridge in New Haven down to 43 in West Haven. This week at Stu Leonard's, they have 2 great deals on the Stu's app. Their Mighty Beef Porterhouse steaks are only $9.99 per pound. You save $5 plus fresh, all-natural whole chicken legs, only 99 cents per pound. That's half price. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by True Law. ThickBets.com.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of today, the clouds giving way to sun. It'll be breezy and mild this afternoon, the high of 72. Clear and colder tonight, the low down to 39.
Forgot
Then
to
for
tell you I
our
stepped
Friday,
away.
a pleasant day.
What's up?
Cooler, the
No,
high
I forgot
of
to tell you I was
65,
stepping
but
away.
just a
I'm
light
back.
breeze.
Okay, no problem.
Then Saturday, partly sunny and windy again. Can't rule out a shower. The high of 63 will feel like the 50s throughout the day with that busy west-northwest wind cranking away at 15 to 25 miles an hour sustained through the day. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
I can't say enough about the ways Awaken 180 Weight Loss has changed my life. It's improved my marriage to the lovely Alice and allowed me to create memories with my kids through activities that I could never have done 2 years ago. Your incredible life change can begin today. Go to awaken180weightloss.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The firefighting operation continues along Lamentation Mountain in Berlin today. Crews being aided by 3 helicopters, 2 from the Connecticut National Guard, another from Maine. They got the blaze contained to about 107 acres at this point, at least as of their 3 o'clock update. But even when the fire is out, officials say the firefighters will be on hand for a few weeks thereafter, working on hotspots. Funeral arrangements for the Weathersfield firefighter who was killed helping to extinguish that fire are set. Robert Sharkovich Sr.'s wake is Sunday from 2 to 7 at Farley Sullivan Funeral Home. The funeral is set for Monday at 11 from the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford. Prosecutors are recommending that Eric and Lyle Menendez be resentenced for the 1989 killings of their parents in Beverly Hills. An official with knowledge of the decision confirming that the DA would recommend resentencing for the brothers. They were sentenced in 1996 to life without parole. Prosecutors must now seek court approval. Woman who was critically injured in a hit and run in Meriden Wednesday night. Female pedestrian struck at Broad and Charles Streets. Police say witnesses told them the suspect vehicle stopped briefly before taking off. They say they're going through surveillance video in the area as part of their investigation. Former President Trump says if he wins the White House again, he'll fire special counsel Jack Smith within 2 seconds of taking office. Smith has charged Trump over his efforts to overturn the 2020 election, as well as his mishandling of classified documents, allegedly. And state police are charging a woman with falsely reporting an incident. Troopers say Deborah Ann Kalotis fabricated her own harassment from a cyber attack. They say Kalotis and a family member were behind the ruse. She's free on $75,000 bond and due in court next month. Dow down 140 points on Wall Street today. NASDAQ up 138, S&P up 12. Celtics and the Wizards from D.C. tonight in the NBA. NHL, Bruins home to Dallas. Rangers at the Garden take on Florida. And in the Thursday night football extravaganza, the Vikings take on the Rams. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, here are some statistics about erectile dysfunction. First, half of men over age 50 have it, with even more of us affected as we get into our 60s and beyond. ED can also impact younger men, even in their 30s, which makes it one of the most pervasive conditions in medicine. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and statistics are one thing, but it's the emotional toll on relationships and the impacts on a man's confidence and self-esteem that are the true tragedies of erectile dysfunction. This is why you need to get treated for your ED. But where you get treated is just as important as getting treated, because who you trust for your health care is critical. At Northeast Men's Health, men's sexual health is our focus. Our providers are experts in treating ED, and we offer the complete range of treatment options with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means you can get your sex life back. So call us. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here.
1 minute.
If you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Yes, folks. 5 o'clock focus. We are still in the middle of that. Tell us about your cheap date. The cheap date that you, if you got lucky, you got lucky. But you know what I mean? That your significant other really liked. Was saying, you know what, you didn't spend a lot of money, but you were thoughtful. Or maybe it was just random, like some of the guys here just said, went on a hike. Apparently that's a thing. I've never thought about that for a date. But, I will say this. I did that, every day after the show, my wife and I go and we take a walk. And it's usually about maybe 20 minutes. We take a walk. Maybe after we eat dinner, we'll take a walk. Yesterday, we took a walk for an hour, for a whole hour. I hated every bit of it, but it was nice to be with my wife. My wife loved every bit of it. She thought it was a nice opportunity to connect. So I can get the hike thing. Girls who like the hike, it's probably a great thing. But, if you've done something that was a bit over the top. I love that story about Chuck Mangione. You just end up walking by, and next thing you know, there's another couple there, and they just invite you in, and you end up hanging out. Make a new friend. That is unheard of. That's absolutely unheard of. You get lucky like that. Tomorrow, don't forget, my favorite day of the week, but it's also a bittersweet one.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
My favorite part of the day. The airing of grievances. If you've got a grievance, something that happened this week, somebody ticked you off, something ticked you off, you can air it tomorrow. Of course, you can call and comment on anything that's happening in the news during the week, or it happened during the week that you didn't get to opine about, but have a grievance that you could share. Something that may have been driving you crazy. Who knows? You might end up like Matt in Bristol, creating an entire powder keg out of not liking people who ride their bikes like Lance Armstrong through the neighborhood. That turned into something. Were you here for that, Joey?
Oh, that's with me.
No, so Matt in Bristol called up and he aired a grievance about guys, who do the Lance Armstrong thing in the neighborhood. And there were so many people that I never would have thought of who are in our listener base who called up and were ripping Matt apart for complaining about people who ride their bikes. There are so many bike riders here in Connecticut.
Oh, yes.
I know. I would have never guessed that they were our listeners, but they love their bike riding. And Matt was tickled pink because he said he couldn't believe how much hate he got, and he was reveling in it because of that one. It turned into this whole bash Matt episode.
You need like a ladle award for someone who stirred the pot that day.
Yeah, that would be fantastic because Matt would be our first honoree. Let's get into another check of the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Mark, a bike rider at all?
You know what? Every now and then I ride a bike, yeah.
Do you do the whole helmet thing with the yellow tight jersey and biker shorts?
No. No, you don't want to, you don't want to see me wearing anything tight. But, no, I do wear a helmet.
Okay, so you just bike ride leisurely.
Oh, yeah, leisurely.
Okay.
I'm not going up hills. I'm not going down big hills. I'm just going.
You're not
along
winning Tour de Force or France, whatever.
No.
Right? Yeah.
Tour de France, no, nothing like that.
Okay.
Just a nice leisurely ride. That's all. But yeah, I do enjoy riding a bike.
I wish I could ride a bike again. I think I look silly on it, so I won't do anything that makes me look silly. I'm too old.
Well, you know what it is. You gotta ride it for a while because your tushy isn't. You get on that seat and it kind of hurts, and then once you get doing it for a little while, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah,
so
I
you
know,
have to
but
break in your backside.
I have very skinny ankles. I just don't want to show them.
You don't want your.
I don't want people to see my ankles.
At least you don't have cankles, right?
Yeah, I would prefer them over these twigs.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Totally.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now,
clear.
southbound side of 91, you got delays in Hartford. This traffic report is being brought to you by Ulta. And southbound 91, you got delays from exit 34 down to 33. Could have a problem there. I don't see it on the camera, but it's very heavy right before exit 33, and then it eases out. And then more slow traffic approaching 27 down to 28, and another bump as you move down between exit 23 and 22 as you move down into Cromwell. Northbound 91 moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 still heavy approaching 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound delays 46 into the tunnel. 291 eastbound slowing I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound heavy off of Route 2 out to exit 5C in East Hartford. 9 northbound a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound in Southbury. You got some slow traffic now as you move between exit 16 and 17. Westbound 84 sluggish traffic from the 691 interchange all the way up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound tight New York, Connecticut line out to 5 in Danbury. Again, some slow traffic by 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays from exit 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound New Haven slowing from the Q Bridge to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
WTIC weather.
High pressure building into the region, bringing us clear and cooler weather overnight. The low down to 40 degrees, then sunny and pleasant for our Friday. Beautiful day to close out the week, the high 65. On Saturday, partly sunny, a windy day. Can't rule out a shower either, the high of 67. Those west-northwest winds, though, 15 to 25 miles an hour throughout the day on Saturday. The winds will subside some. Still breezy on Sunday, mostly sunny. It'll be cooler, too, the high of 59. Plenty of sun Monday, a cool day, the high of 54. Pleasant and warmer for us Tuesday, though, with a mix of clouds and sun, the high up to 64. New London right now, 66. Mansfield at 64. At 66 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
I'm NBC Connecticut's Kevin Nathan. Last year, more than 1,000 care packages were sent to our military overseas. Let's make this year's Boxes to Boots even better. Join Comcast, NBC, and Telemundo Connecticut. Help send packages to our troops this holiday season. Go to NBCConnecticut.com/boxes to boots, shop online, or make a monetary donation, or drop items in person at any participating Xfinity store.
Boxes to Boots is brought to you in part by WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-1305. That's 800-291-1305. 800-291-1305.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Trick or treat. Halloween is around the corner. Let's not use wishful thinking when it comes to safety. Beware and take care. Don't drink and drive. From your spooky friends at Odyssey and Carter Mario Injury.
Here we go. It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus. Come on, man. Focus already.
We're back with the 5 o'clock focus. Get ready to get up out of here, so I will take our final contestants on this 5 o'clock focus. Chris is in Berlin. How are you, sir?
Hi, Reese. So I'm going to tell you about the cheapest date I was ever taken on.
Okay.
So I met this guy, and he just finished college and was going to start to teach. And he worked his way through middle school, high school, and college working for a man that restored cars.
Oh.
He started restoring cars himself. He liked sports cars. And he was telling, first car he ever sold, he was 17. He sold it to Harris.
Oh.
It was a Columbia touring car. Oh, this guy's cool. So anyway, he picks me up in this weird-looking sports car.
Okay.
And we're driving, and he says, well, I got a cooler full of beer. We're going to go to the lake and have a beer and talk. And I said, oh, brother. So we went to the lake in Berlin, and we're driving, and we come up to the lake, and he's going into the lake with the car. And I went nuts. What the hell? What are you doing? I thought, I'm going to die. It was an Amphicar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that, listen to me, I don't know if first of all, you completely outdid my Staten Island ferry story because yours was also involved water, but Staten Island provided me with the aquatics on this one. You totally, that's an amazing story that I ever heard on a date, but you had to be completely taken aback.
I freaked.
When
I
know you freaked out when you were going into the water, but when you notice that the thing is floating and it turns into a boat, you had to be completely. You had to be a little bit you had to be impressed.
Cool. Yeah. Oh my God, this is cool. The guy was so cool. I married him.
You know what? You definitely get the applause of the day, without a doubt.
Thank you.
Winner, chicken dinner. You can't. The fact that's going to be the best story. I'm pretty sure you're telling your grandkids about that as well. That's a great date story. A great date story. You got to put that in a film. You just got to put that in a film. Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated. That was really, really good. You got it. Patty's on the line, so I'm assuming she heard someone bring up her name. Patty, are you there?
Hi,
I am.
Okay,
I
so
heard
Patty,
that
did
I
you
had
hear
a
Joe?
replay.
Did you hear Joe bring up your name
did.
about the IVs?
Yeah, I can give you a little bit about that. I probably had, I don't know, decades with it. 17, 18, 19 years, something in there to figure it out.
Okay.
But IVs are harder to do than blood work. Blood work, you only go into the vein. You go in a little bit at an angle.
Right.
And you only go, you don't have to thread it.
Right.
But some people actually still do need a little help. I noticed when people are drawing on somebody that's hard, they have a hard time. They probably didn't learn the principles well. I learned by this great lady. She's no longer alive. Her name was Doris.
Mm-hmm.
She could get blood out of a stone. She was great. Never forget it.
But Patty,
Yeah,
let me
she
go
was
to my
great.
original. Let me go to my original question here.
Sure.
Being in the medical field, can an average citizen even? I mean, let's just say he is not that much average. He's a wealthy guy. Can you get a stock full of IVs like that, or do you you can't go through a hospital?
He probably
Obviously,
was getting. I wondered if he was actually getting not only the part that goes in your mouth, in your arm there.
Right.
They call that the gelco, but he may actually even get it with some apparatus that actually screws right into that, so
Right.
that they could give IV, maybe like a little heparin lock, or have a little, small little catheter there that fits right in there.
Yeah.
And I bet they actually could, because
Well, see,
when I was showing,
I used to
when I was
work for a
showing my daughter-
company. I used to work for a company that was a medical supply company. You might have heard of it. Like, I don't even know if they're still around. It was a company called Sophomore Danik, and they were based out of Memphis, Tennessee. Now, they used to supply things like they did a lot of spinal surgery equipment, right? So that was kind of their thing. So I understand that there are companies that provide this stuff to the hospitals. Like they're medical, medical
And especially
supply
the spinal
companies.
stuff, because those are different. They're probably going to be a little larger gauge. Also.
Right.
Like the ones you put in your arm. You could put anything as small as a butterfly, which is a 24. The higher the number, the lower the number, the larger the lumen. The higher the number, like a 24 would be a very small one, very narrow. You put in very, very delicate people, for example, when they can't find a whole lot.
So am I off base by suggesting that P. Diddy, because one of these lawsuits is going after, he says, a pharmaceutical company. Am I off if I'm off the mark or off target by suggesting the pharmaceutical company may be related because they provided IVs to P. Diddy? Because
when someone's buying that much from you, I think they have a responsibility to find out who they're sending it to when they're using that much of it, and you don't have any credentials, to be honest with you.
Yes.
And especially if somebody was harmed by it, he probably actually isn't even have any legal right to be starting an IV on someone, to be honest with you.
That's exactly what we were thinking. My wife and I were going through that and saying, because when he mentions a pharmaceutical company, one of two things run through the mind. GHB, like we were looking at all the things that were medical in these lawsuits and in these charges. So, there's Rohypnol, which is, of course, the date rape drug. Is he getting that through the pharmaceutical company? IVs, clearly that sounds like something through the pharmaceutical companies.
Remember Michael Jackson, what he was given at home?
Yeah,
Some of these anesthesia kind of drugs?
Propofol.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these things sounded like, they sound like these things are being provided to something outside of the medical field, or like a clinic or a hospital. And
I would think IV fluids, Reese, they should be prescription.
Exactly.
I think that's a medical supply.
Exactly. That's the whole point. And my wife, of course, said the whole thing about injecting, or I'm using that term loosely, of course, but inserting an IV into someone, that's not something you learn, because it's into the wrist, right?
There's you can start from the hand and you can go all the way up to the top of the arm. But to be honest with you, that's a skill. And they have smaller, again, a 24 gauge. Actually, the smallest I've ever seen was like a 14. Somebody going to the OR, giving a lot of blood, you're going to use a larger lumen, 16, 18, 20 gauge, because you don't want to damage the blood cells. So, there is skills in that. And, you could hurt somebody very badly. And actually, anti-cupidable, there's an artery right underneath one of the veins. So I would never draw right under the third. There's skills. It's like anything. It's the more you do it, the better are you at it. And some people are really hard to find. And, some people who are really, really good are able to find those very tough patients. I had one up on the floor. The lady must have weighed, maybe 65 pounds. She was in a fetal position. I got in. and I wrapped it. I wrapped it with a Curlex so it would not fall out. They needed to give her IV stuff, and I got called out of the units to start her.
So, Patty, it would be,
you know,
in a case like
it's a
this,
skill.
the pharmaceutical company, if indeed, and we're only speculating here, if they did provide this to a private individual, there may have been some serious laws broken here.
Wouldn't you think so, Reese?
In my head, that's what
we would think so.
I just.
And it'd be awful suspicious to be selling in quantity people on the outside IV therapy.
Yeah,
you know, my sister had IVIG, and that all had to go through. There was an office in Rhode Island. We had to get all the stuff through them. When you know she had IVIG, they would come to her house from Rhode Island to Connecticut. The nurses did Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, and they were fabulous. She had CIDP.
And I
So we had to
also
get all the
wonder.
stuff from them.
I also wonder because, and again, this is me speculating. I'm no surgeon. I'm no medical, maven or anything. But I'm asking you, Patty. Once you use an IV, you have to discard it, and this is considered hazardous material after the fact, right?
You are correct.
So
you are correct.
So I'm asking myself, how is P. Diddy disposing? Like, if they were being, like, we're talking parties every night, according to some of these affidavits, parties every night, IVs every night. We're talking about mass quantities of IVs that are being used.
Wow.
Somebody's got to be able to insert them or to use them, and then they have to discard them. And, like, he's almost operating like a hospital in a weird way,
Somebody knew how to do it.
Yeah, this is, you know what? Everything about this is more convoluted the more you think about it or even discuss it. Thank you, Patty. Much appreciated.
What goes on in the world. We must have really boring lives, Rich.
That's okay. I'm okay. I'm all right with being boring. I'm much better at boring than anything else. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate it. Again, tomorrow, airing of grievances. If you got anything going on, hey, even if your humble host is a part of the grievance, call him. Matt does it all the time. He and I, we know no boundaries of our friendship, to let us know. Don't forget to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's ReeseOnTheRadio.com, REESE. We've also got the Sunday program, which you can check out right here on the Odyssey app if you cannot get it immediately live at WTIC. But you can go to the Odyssey app, or if you miss that, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com as well. What time is the what do you call it? Are the Patriots playing this weekend? Do you know?
Patriots are a 1 o'clock kickoff, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so that means that the show will air at 5 p.m., right? Yes. 5 p.m. All right, so Reese on the Radio Rundown, as we call it on the weekends, will air on Sunday at 5 p.m., so you can check that out as well. I don't do any guests on that, but I think I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send an email to our very own Morgan Cunningham. I haven't talked to him in a while. You have no idea. I've got such the interest in Morgan Cunningham because he's a young soul he's a young guy with an old soul. And I would love to do a segment with Morgan Cunningham. I don't get to talk to him often enough. And he's very interesting. And I'm going to see if I can get with him to hang out and see Bowser for the last time. And he's going to be at Mohegan Sun this January, right? I'm almost certain he is. I think, Bowser from Bow Wow Wow his last public appearance is coming up in January. And of course, that is, he's one of our sponsors here at WTIC. And I would love to go see Bowser. I've never seen him live, so I'm probably going to see if I can get to go to that thing. I don't know. We're just promoting the tickets here. Are we giving any tickets away for that? I wonder if we are.
No, we'd probably know closer to the event.
Probably closer to the event, right? Okay.
I mean, Morgan usually likes to get his own, like he'll get the exclusive seating and meet and greets.
And then he does the backstage. Yeah,
Morgan does all the things.
That's what I'm saying. I want to get with Morgan and talk to him about all of that stuff. Because, like, he's for a guy in his, late 20s?
Yeah.
He is so into all of this stuff that, like, he's not supposed to be into the stuff that I'm into. But he's into it. And when you hear his voice, it was almost like he was born too late. Like somebody put him in an incubator and held him over.
The morning show with Brian and Matt, we've all concluded he's got like the Benjamin Button syndrome.
Yeah, totally.
He's actually 87 years old, but
I believe it. I totally believe it. I remember the first time I got here and I heard Morgan Cunningham. I'd never seen him before, and I was doing Brian's show, and I heard his voice. And as soon as I heard him, I was like, that old guy's got a great voice for radio. And then Janine tells me he's 27. I go, stop lying.
We had another one, another great guy who used to work here, still Aaron Kupek. Same thing. He had a set of pipes on him. Like the first time you're like, who's this kid in the booth? And you hear him, you're like, holy bejesus.
Yeah.
My voicemail.
And you know what? Morgan Cunningham talks like he's 80.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not
if you have him on your Sunday show,
you
got to do like a video because I can just see him in like his suede smoking jacket.
Absolutely.
His cup of Cavassier, like sitting in a pleather chair or something.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to have him on the air, and I'm going to have Morgan Cunningham say slang terms from the 80s. I'm going to get Morgan Cunningham to say funky fresh.
That'd be so rad.
And we're just going to take those, and we're just going to insert them everywhere in the sound system and just have Morgan Cunningham coming out and go, funky fresh. He's got the greatest voice in the world. I love it. I'm not jealous. I'm just absolutely envious of Morgan Cunningham's voice and just his style overall. All right, folks, as I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night and pleasant tomorrow. He is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
Hey, good night, Morgan Cunningham. I call him Big Voice.
He is the big voice, baby.
He's a boss jock from back in the 60s and 70s.
Absolutely.
Those killer pipes. Hey, guys, have a great night. If you're
all right, sir.
Thank you, man. Have a good one. And I got you tomorrow, right?
You're going to see.
No, tomorrow will be Justin.
I got Justin. I got to remember.
And traffic will be Ian Stark.
Yep, I'm going to put that in right now.
And yeah, those are usually on tape. So
yeah, that much I remember.
You'll see another bump
I'll see you Monday then.
Yes, I'll be in Monday.
All right, you got it, boss.
22 in the route 9 interchange in Cromwell. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. If you're westbound 84, is still very heavy approaching 56 Governor Street right off the 45.
All right, time for me to take my walk. Thank you, Michael A. And thank you, everybody, for commentary. Sorry I didn't get to you today. I apologize for that. I got that Patty call. I wanted to get that IV story in. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Please, commentary, call for tomorrow's airing of grievances. You've always got good stuff, so I don't want to miss that. All right, I love you guys. Be good. And, stay golden. Bye-bye.